It's time for some hostile therapy.
Yeah, yeah, we back. We did it. We in this thing. Hey,
Right, y'all. Welcome to Hostile Therapy. Look, I started good on this time. Welcome to Hostile Therapy on
man, let me switch my
Thursdays.
Wi-Fi.
Big Red with me, Big Red, of course. LT, Lord Trent in the house. And I'm sorry, Dr. Lamar in the background somewhere. Hi. Dr. Lamar, are you there? Is the doc in? Is the
Is
doctor
is
in the
the
house?
is there a doctor on the show?
This would be a good time for that doctor actually to show up right now. We
Um,
need you, doc.
an actual doctor, not Shaquille O'Neal.
That's just like a man. Don't get me
That
started
man
on
really
this.
has a quote unquote doctorate, and everyone that spent years trying to get an actual
That's
doctorate should feel like
That's what I
shit.
don't. That's what I don't like about it. But let me ask you something: which is more offensive to you? Him, the fact that he has a doctor in front of his name, or the fact that he actually became an undercover cop?
And you know what? I agree with Kevin Hart. How the fuck are you, as Shaquille O'Neal, going to go undercover?
One of the biggest human beings has ever existed.
Like you are famous, bro. Like I know your first name, I know your nickname. Like Shaq. Nigga, you have a whole martial art named after you.
Shaq.
Like you can't fucking go undercover and
I
shit.
forgot about
What?
it. He had a game too. That was
Like that
cool.
man, like it's really a sign that when you're rich, you can literally just live out your wildest dreams, whatever the fuck you wanted to be. Like we tell kids, you can be whatever you want to be. We really need to tell kids, when you're rich, you can be whatever the fuck you want to be.
That's a good point. When
You
you're
could
rich,
even,
you can be
if you
anything.
were a former Olympic athlete, you could now be a woman.
Oh no. Well, that one I'll bite back on. I'm like now you can just be a woman or a
If you
guy.
started out as a rich white man, a la Bruce Jenner, you can become anything you want to be, a
I don't
la
think
Caitlyn
I don't
Jenner.
think you gotta be rich on that one though. Nowadays.
In order for people to respect it, because
Uh,
again, this man, the man Bruce Jenner
mm,
became Caitlyn Jenner for 1 year and got Woman of the Year.
not even a full year.
Not
Not
even
even
a
a full
full
year.
year. Like was probably still has some like male hormones left over. Like
Not,
tried to
not,
go on shopping trips and was like, I don't know, man. I'll meet y'all bitches in the food court or something. Oh,
I don't
sorry,
even I
sorry.
don't
I
even think
slipped
for a
out.
full gestation period to have a baby as a woman. I don't think he had to wait that long.
And that's what got Dave Chappelle and J.K. Rowling canceled, apparently.
Oh, they can't cancel.
Which, again, if I'm a billionaire, which I don't know how much J.K. Rowling has, but if you put J.K. Rowling and Dave Chappelle together, you might get a billion. Who knows? If I'm that well off, you can cancel me. I'm fine. Y'all already done bought all the damn books. You know, bought the DVDs. Like, what are you canceling now? Are you gonna return Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone back to the book fair from whence you got it?
You got your computer on, volume on in the background. Well,
Go ahead.
somebody has their
Can y'all hear me?
yeah. Somebody has their
Oh,
thing on
okay,
in the
perfect.
background. There's an echo.
Oh, wait a minute. My computer. No, I got it off. Hold up. Do I got you on mute? Let's make sure.
Let me see. Is it me?
Yes, I got this on mute. It's only on my phone.
Okay, so it's not you.
Hello, hello.
I think it's you. You got something on in the background? Secondary.
Let's see here. Let's play around with these motherfucking. Hmm. I don't. I don't know. I'm gonna refresh. I'll be right back.
Well, is if it's still here, okay, it's not LT. Okay, I can't tell it's Dr. Lamar. Well, she's on mute, so it's not her.
So is it mine? But how? There's nothing else on there.
Okay, let me see something else then. Let me see.
Because if
Okay. Okay. It's not mine. I put myself on mute. I can't tell if it's Dr. Lamar or not. She's on mute.
Okay, what about now? See, now you can't hear me.
I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you before. You're not on mute now. So watch. I'll put you on mute. Okay. There's no echo. There's no echo at all now. Now I take you off mute. It's back.
What is that? My computer?
It could be your speakers. Where are your speakers facing?
Oh, they're right here. Oh, maybe I should change to my computer. Maybe.
That might help. Do you have external speakers where they're turned in or turned out?
I don't even have my mic on because my mic is right here, but it's unplugged.
You're using the mic off. Oh, okay.
It's unplugged. My mic is. I don't even have it connected.
I'm about to say that might be it. That might be your mic, your speakers.
Okay, let me
going through the computer. Go ahead.
Let me refresh. Let me go out and come again.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Lamar.
Oh God, I've been on mute. I'm sorry. I wasn't even speaking. I'm thinking I'm speaking. What's going on? What's the topic for tonight?
You're gonna be in for a treat for tonight. It's red flags of dating. What red flags do you look for in dating?
That's the main actively look for?
Yeah, you good, LT. I don't think it was you. Because I put everybody on mute and one at a time, and it was just hers that was going off like that. I think that was her speakers interfering with her mic.
For shizzle.
Did you say dating?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, we
yes, sure.
Come on.
Oh Jesus.
You know this ain't my topic.
It's really your topic. This is your bread and butter, right?
Anything, here. Dr. Lamar, you can tell us about some red flags. Goddamn. You got stories.
Red, green, and everything between.
If you want to tell us what white flags look for or green flag, what would be the good one? Green flag?
Green flag, goddamn.
I just did a talk on pink flags in relationships.
I'm about to say it depends on what set you rep, I guess. What doesn't matter what crew you claim, what set you're rolling with.
Yeah.
Brad Gluckman stands for a unified California. That was Malibu's most one.
This is a good topic since everybody been trending with Steve Harvey saying that women don't need to bring anything to the table.
Damn, Steve Harvey be saying a lot of shit, and it's like, someone probably did ask him. I don't know who asked Steve Harvey. I've always been a Cedric the Entertainer fan, but Steve Harvey got a lot of advice, and what I will take his advice on is my wardrobe, because at this point, that's the only thing Steve Harvey can offer to me. Some good advice on where to get a nice suit and how to look fly in my photography.
Steve crazy. That's what he said. He said, but I think Steve talking more now because that his wife ex-husband coming out and she said he telling everything.
Yeah. So what did he tell women to do exactly? I keep trying to get my
a woman should not have to bring anything to the table, just you and your kids.
She bringing kids. What? Did she bring kids? Like, are y'all creating the kids together, or did she come with kids already?
She came with kids. She came with what, 3?
Yeah, from previous marriage.
Who y'all referring to? His first marriage?
The 3rd.
Because I'm about to say, didn't he cheat on one of his wives? Didn't he think like a woman, and she was thinking like, I don't know what he was thinking.
What's up, y'all? What y'all talking about?
What's up, Breeze? What's up, Breeze?
Y'all good?
Chilling.
What y'all talking about?
Steve Harvey giving us more relationship advice for our head tops.
I love his advice.
Showing
Did y'all see the ex husband did an interview with a podcaster?
Yeah. Taj can't eat all
he was playing with them.
He was a big drug dealer.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Hold up, shit. Hold on, what? She was
Yeah, he was really big though. He did a lot of time.
Steve used to move
Mhm.
weight. No,
No,
No.
the ex-husband. The ex-husband of his wife.
you ain't
Right.
mentioned that in the Steve Harvey.
But
Mr.
wait a minute.
Hightower
Like
never
20
mentioned that.
I think he
But
did
you
it
know,
21
her
years.
second husband was a kingpin too. They were cousins.
All right, I'm noticing a
Yeah,
pattern.
she was messing with some
Yeah.
big.
That first and second husband. They were like they were cousins or something.
Damn, Steve Harvey was her 9 to 5 nigga. And imagine your 9 to 5 nigga, your legit nigga is the one trying to be a comedian.
I don't know.
Because I remember
Well,
when
he's
I
successful,
was
though.
watching some
He worked.
old Def Comedy Jam. That nigga Steve Harvey. It's fun. Some comedians have always been old, like they've always looked like they was in their late 30s by the time they hit the stage. Steve Harvey was at Def Comedy Jam. Him and Bernie Mac.
D.
Him and what's up, Spark? Him
Says
and Bernie
what?
Mac had on some young ass outfits
What
for
up,
being
though?
grown age, middle
Anita,
aged men.
baby. I like Steve Harvey.
Yes. Hey, Preach.
I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I spoke. I didn't even realize I was on mute.
Dr. Lamar,
No, you good.
I'm loving them glasses.
Girl, wait a minute.
Mhm.
My daughter was teasing me about these glasses, right? She said,
Shit's
"Mine, the glasses
popular.
look so stupid, right?" Guess how much I paid for these glasses?
300.
$2.
Oh shit.
Oh,
$2.
wow.
She went to
You
the
know,
dollar
Good
it's
store.
insurance.
$2 worth of stuff.
She done went to the dollar store.
$2.
Extreme
Well,
coupon
what's
now.
$2.
And free shipping. $2.
Oh,
She-
ooh,
They ain't even charge you for the prescription, huh? It was already involved, already in.
No,
in
the
the price.
insurance paid for the prescription, but I got them online $2. And I said, put me a little cloth in there, 2 cases.
Mm.
He said, "Mine."
let me get a little cloth for my joint. Let me get the lens wipes. Let me get some of those.
They'll be broke next week, I promise.
Yeah, I get 2 every time I buy. I get a circular pair and a rimless pair that I call the Malcolms.
I ain't buying no expensive glasses. $2.
Where
Yeah.
I went to Lens Crafter the other day and I was really looking around. Like I was only looking at the Ray-Ban section. Like that was the only section that was actually of any interest to me. But they were all so damn expensive, and it's like I need to see, but I don't need to see that damn bad. Like
Go
Stevie
and-
Wonder been functioning his whole damn life, ain't seen not a blick of nothing.
Oh God,
Right, you ain't.
he crazy.
You
He ain't seen
crazy.
shit.
I'm
I
telling
remember
you.
one time Stevie Wonder said, video games are getting too violent. I'm like, how did you see that, Stevie?
The
What
same
video-
way his
what
ex-wife
video
said he
ever
needs to be paying child support, that he could he do braille to see.
See, that's different. He you can slide into you don't have to see what you're doing to slide into some shit. You know, him asked Ray Charles about that shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard about it.
About
I
that.
saw a documentary on him. He had a lot of
Yeah,
women.
Mhm.
And that boy Ray was a womanizer. Beautiful song. Like
He
yeah,
did.
don't nobody play the piano like him, but goddamn, that man was terrible to his lovers.
Trying to make sure I had everybody in here.
I'm about to say you was playing with the format for a minute. Like,
Yeah.
we all lined up in rows and shit.
Ray, you gotta change that picture.
Okay.
I was looking at my computer, right? All of a sudden, I turned around and scared the crap out of me. It must be like a picture you got a full beard. Is that you, like cartoon type of thing?
You got some AI pictures out there, Ray?
It's like that last picture, like when you wasn't on the screen.
Oh, you mean his Superman joint? I like that one.
I just wasn't expecting it. No, it was like another one. It's like he had like not a cartoon, but it's like one of them last pictures. Like it had different pictures. Then it was like the last one that was up there. It looked like it's looking at you.
Like a grandmama tattoo on.
No, it kind of looked like you. Like
somebody having sex, and you don't want to see that judgment while you try to have sex with
no,
somebody.
it kind of looked like you. It just I was like, what?
That, hold on, I'm sorry. That was real specific. And did that happen to you?
Okay.
You was tagging somebody from the back and they had grandma on their back.
Oh my
Oh,
Be
God.
on their back or their chest. I don't want to see their face and Bible scripture on there while I'm
Yeah,
probably
if you
doing something
tattoo
wrong.
somebody's face on you, you watch. You know Drake has 2 face tattoos on his body. I want to say he has no, he has one. He has a picture of Aaliyah's face, and I want to say he has a picture of Lil Wayne's face tattooed on his body.
That's
I'm
cool.
done.
What?
Aubrey
He
Drake
don't
Brand.
have a Lil Wayne on his body. Can't.
You
I don't
should
know
have-
about the Lil Wayne one, but you know what? I do know Lil Wayne and Birdman have each other's faces tattooed on their bodies. Drake definitely has Aaliyah's face tattooed on his, but I might have been confused. But I know Lil Wayne and Birdman have each
I'm
other's
sure they
faces
do.
tattooed on each other's body. Again, these are not biological father and son.
No,
Whatever
I
the fuck
believe
the album
that.
says.
All that tonguing they be doing. I'm like,
Oh.
are you serious?
Tonguing on my daddy. Tonguing on my daddy. I be tonguing.
All right, guys. Let's ring
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like 16 Lil Wayne fans just stop watching right there. You're not gonna be talking about Weezy like this. That's the Louisiana Gunna.
All right, let's get on tonight's subject for tonight. Well, main topic for tonight. So I don't know who's single and who's dating in here. You can, if you're not single, you can talk on the past about when you were dating, and you can talk about maybe some of the red flags you saw before you started dating someone, or before you got to a relationship. So the main topic tonight is the red flags you should look for when you are trying to date and make someone.
Wait a minute. Who's that? Hold up.
Is that fucking Freeway?
I don't know. Is that Drake's on?
That's definitely Drake.
Yes, that's Drake's arm with Lil Wayne. That's Lil Wayne's
Okay,
face.
so I was oh wow.
Okay, red
Okay,
flag
Aubrey.
number one, having
What?
tattoos
Why
of
would-
other
Flag.
rappers or people who are not close to you in any capacity on your body. That
It's
Yeah, that's
weird.
crazy.
is a red
Yeah,
flag.
names are one thing. You went and got a whole grown ass, still living man's face
These dudes
on
weird.
your body.
They weird. They supposed to be gangster and they doing they weird.
I will say Drake ain't never decided to be a gangster. Drake is Jewish. That boy was on
Right.
Degrassi. He ain't never been gangster about shit in his life.
You right.
That's
He
true.
has eight.
Let's
He
get
has
on the
eight
subject.
eight
Get on the
tattoos.
subject, guys.
We gotta go.
All right,
Red
red flags. This is what we're the topic for tonight. We're going to start off with everybody. We're going to get 2 minutes. You know how the drill goes. Except for Danetta. I know you're new here. I don't know if you've seen how the format goes, but we start off. Everyone gets 2 minutes to speak their piece about the subject. We go around the room, and then it's a free for all after that until the conversation comes to a natural stop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just don't
there's
start
going-
with me.
Don't start with you. I can go counterclockwise. Let me get my clock up here.
Get the clock with the fire.
Okay. So, again, the topic is what are red flags to look for? You believe that would say, okay, I don't think this is going to work out. Go the other direction. Leave that person alone. So, since Danetta is the guest, we're going to let her go last by her request. We're going to let her go last. We're going to start off with Priestley first.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to let you go first and tell us within 2 minutes your main red flags that you look for and say, hey, it can be physical, it can be financial, it can be anything. What are your red flags? And I'm going to pop the clock up here and then you're ready to go, okay?
All right.
All right.
You ready? Go!
All right. There's a lot of red flags. I guess really number one, from my job, the way I worked at, I'm not trying to judge nobody's past or nothing, but I do ask questions regarding if you were incarcerated. I could tell the way you act, your behavior, I can tell. Another thing would be if being sneaky, like with your phone. Sometimes that could be a red flag. If it's off, or if every time you get a phone call you got to step out, that's a red flag. Not to say that you're not you know, if somebody's checking on their kids and stuff like that. But if it's, you can tell when somebody's doing something behind your back, especially when it comes to the phone. The phone is on vibrate, or every time you turn around, you getting up to the phone or whatever. Or another red flag. I don't want to take all of them. Kind of like being too controlling too. Like telling me, as far as what I'm supposed to wear, that could be a sign of being too controlling, or a red flag, I should say. And just too aggressive, I think. To me, that could be a sign, because that can lead to something else. So I don't want to take all of them, because when it comes to men, it's about 4 books.
Oh, you won't take mine.
No.
All right. Sparky T, give us about 100 of your red flags.
Sparky will have you thinking.
Yeah, I know Sparky T got some good ones.
First of all, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Are you ready? Go!
Okay, I think one of my first things that I really look for is somebody that's really controlling. I don't do good with the controlling behavior, and if somebody's like really trying to be controlling, it makes me wonder why. Like, what are you trying to control the situation for? Why are you trying to control where I'm going, what I'm wearing? You want to know who I'm with, what time I'm coming back? That's too much. You're not my daddy. We dating. I also don't like that. To me, it's kind of the same though, but I don't like when they have a lack of trust. Kind of sometimes they seem like they're controlling when there's a lack of trust. And when there's a lack of trust, I'm like, well, why are you not trusting me? Are you not trusting me because you got something going on? Are you, putting what you got going on onto me and trying to make it seem like I'm doing something when really you're doing something? It's a red flag to me if somebody's tearing up your self-esteem. The people that are the closest to you are supposed to be lifting you up, not tearing you down. So if there's somebody tearing me down, that's not gonna fly. I'm not gonna let you do too much tearing down. But if somebody trying to tear down, that's a red flag. Of course, if there's any kind of physical abuse, we know sexual abuse, any of that. We're not going for nobody putting their hands on you, nobody choking you up, trying to smack you up, none of that. And no means no. So if I say no, this is my body. So anything outside of respecting my nose is definitely an issue for me. And that's all the way around. You just got to respect my boundaries. If whatever my boundaries are, whether that's sexually, physically, emotionally, whatever, you got to respect my boundaries. I don't get too much with substance abuse, other than it depends on what they're doing. Like if somebody doing hard drugs, that's not the person for me. I'm sure everybody choke their weed or whatever, that's their thing. I don't have no issues with that. I do my own. But people that's out there, I ain't got no time for no crack, no meth, no heroin, none of that. I can't rock with none of that. A narcissist is an issue, and if you got anger management issues.
How many was that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know how many that was.
Yes.
That wasn't that many. It was only about 6, 7. I wasn't done, but it was only about 6 or 7.
Nope, it was only one.
It was only one.
Oh boy. Dr. Lamar.
That Lamar already shaking it.
I think we're gonna have to do a part 2.
I'm gonna have to be embarrassed telling my legs.
Chair turned to the side like red.
Like for real. Like I'm like embarrassed, but I gotta put it out there.
Okay, we'll let you go. Go ahead.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm sorry, Davida, but I gotta tell the truth. You knew so. Okay. The first red flag is when somebody stop your toilet up. Wait, everybody turn around. The second one I've had, when somebody be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a nap," and you like, "Okay," and you wake up and your bed ain't smelling right because they got streaks in your bed, and you like, "Oh my God, should I say something? Should I not?" You got little streaks in your bed. That mean they ain't cleaning too good. Next one is when their teeth just start falling out and they say they don't need them. You're like, "Oh God," because they be on that lean. That lean be doing that, right? You be like, "Oh God." or when you look in your medicine cabinet and all your little medication and stuff, you be like, what my ibuprofen? Your bath salts, your mustard, especially that Watkins, red flags right there. And then they be trying to cuss you out. Or this is one I had. I promise you I had this. And you're like, what's going on? Like, I'm smelling something. They getting high on the DL, but you don't know they functioning high. And next thing you know, they don't release their bowels and they walking across your floor and crap going across your. You like, and then they ask you, what you looking at? My rug. You can't make this up. I'm serious. And when they like you and y'all having conversation, and then all of a sudden you like, are we in the same conversation? They ain't in the same conversation because they schizophrenic. But you go meet their parents, and their parents like, oh girl, we got nerve problems in this family. You be like, nerve problems, and then you find out everybody in the family got nerve problems. You can't make that up. Seriously. Because all mental illness is yeah.
Yo.
I'm like on mute. I was crying.
Yeah.
And y'all was talking about my list.
Oh my God.
No,
That wasn't a list. That was what Dr. Lamar just did. That was a campfire story.
No, Dr. Lamar was dating nothing but mud butt dudes. What's
my
going
cousin was like, yo,
I got
where
my
you
butt.
find these people? I'd be like, I don't know. And then one time I was dating, he had sciatica, sickle cell, a heart problem. He was carrying around medication. I'd be like, yo, I am not an ER nurse.
That's probably why he's schizophrenic.
Yo, what dating site was this?
What day and age is this? Are you dating?
Yeah, because when you said medicine cabinet, I checked out.
Oh, he was only like 42, me and him real cool. But he had every type of medication, and then he got to have a phone because back then he got to hook the heart monitor up to your house phone. You would hook it up there, and then on top of that,
He's way older than 4. What?
No,
he had to hook his heart monitor to
that's
his
when he had
house
to have a
phone.
phone. Yeah, and then y'all got to drive his car. He telling you to breathe in the thing because he got the breathalyzer in the car. I'm
What a
like,
breathalyzer! He got a portable breathalyzer.
yeah, you can
Yeah, alcoholic with several DUIs.
And one day we went through a whole ghetto movie. Like you got the CPAP machine, so I got to keep the still water. Then you about to pass out, so now I got to give you a Pepsi because your sugar done went down low. Then next thing you know, he's on aromatherapy because the CPAP machine got aroma in it. And then next thing you know, I'm like, you can't pee because you want to die.
He's lying about being 42. The problems he have are the same. That's the reality that our president Joe Biden wakes up in. He had to be older than.
Where do you find these people at in ICU? Because it just don't sound like general.
Did you dig this man up?
No,
Death row.
When people
like
introduce you, you gotta be like, My friend was like, nah, he nice. Nah, you forget that nice. Forget the nice.
Get ready to go to heaven.
For now on, I used to
left.
be like, let me see if you're on the medical list now. Be like, let me see your medical record.
He's had a nice life.
I'm serious. This man about
the second time around for love. What is this?
I'm so done.
He said he leaves streaks on the sheets.
Yeah, we can't. Thank you. We can't.
And then wait a minute, had the nerve to break up with me via text message. I'm like, I've been about to leave you alone. You been
That was probably his nurse who texted you. He probably couldn't.
Not the sheets. Not.
Yeah, but I was like, should I say
Was
something?
fucked up. He probably looked at him and forgot they was his. No, she ain't got doo-doo streaks.
No,
you
I
know
was
what?
like,
I
say
can't.
something or should I not? And then I was like,
This
oh
is
my God.
good. This is good.
Yeah, I'm with him. He put me on email.
Man, he won. She won.
They'll tell you before it gets worse.
I'm done.
She won.
Before it gets worse, they'll tell you.
I ain't even go there with the one with the hairphone because you got a fake toupee.
Do it. Don't you do it.
Table that.
Who's that?
This is good.
I told you, I'm like, oh, this is a bad night for me. I can't be telling you.
I think you just looking into obituaries.
Yeah, like you gotta be.
My mother's like, look, I'm just gonna go to the nursing home. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the nursing home because at least I know they getting a check. It ain't doing too much. Cause these out
You gonna
here,
have to take
That
care
shit
of
ain't
them.
enough to keep them out of the nursing home.
yeah, you're right. But them teeth falling out because you on lean. Tell me you don't need no teeth. No,
That sounds like an old person.
Yeah, that sounds
no.
like
Yeah, the teeth gonna
our
fall
other
out.
president, George Washington.
He only like 46, 47 now. No,
I'm
that
saying-
lean, that lean got that syrup, you know, that syrup in it.
Well, okay, so you're saying because he was a drug, you know what? It makes more sense because he was a drug addict like that.
Yeah.
Because if you just walking by and your bowels are releasing, yeah, you've been doing some hard
Well,
drugs.
she said that when his bowels released, crack was falling on the floor. So crack was hard drugs.
He was a functioning
And right
heroin
there is
addict.
where you found the other red flag, the crack
Yeah.
going out the asshole. Huh?
He was a heroin addict.
Oh, heroin
Okay,
is-
see,
Ask me
all right,
what
yeah.
I'm looking at.
Go, my
Right.
God.
What?
LT, go ahead.
You're-
Go ahead, LT.
LT, it's your turn.
Um,
Red flags, go.
Are you ready? Go!
I guess it's interesting because there's red flags I feel like you should look for before you get into a relationship. And then there's red flags that you should pay attention to when you get into a relationship because people are going to put their best foot forward when we first start interacting. You know what I'm saying? We're not living with each other right off the bat. We're probably not even inhabiting each other's personal space right off the bat. We're only seeing each other in small increments. So it's even harder to pinpoint a dookie crack fiend that's dookie heroin fiend that is because they might know how to hide that well in their first few interactions. So you have to look for red flags in the conversation. This is why communication and conversation are very important in the courting or dating stages. You have to hear what a person is talking about, hear what their interests are. Those are the places to start with for red flags. If this person is only talking about how much they love to watch shows about drugs like Intervention or Narcos or insert other drug program from Viceland here, that person might be into drugs. If this person loves to watch like murder mystery shit or like the Deadly Couples, Snapped, Killer Women, For My Man, Fatal Attraction, Killer this, Killer that, they watch nothing but investigation discovery, that might be a person who has some toxic tendencies when it comes to romance. So there's red flags that you need to be mindful of when you're just seeing this person. Like shit, social media red flags. If you don't see how this person, if they don't post about work, they might not have a job. If they post that they have kids, but you don't see any pictures of their kids or them with their kids, they might not take care of their kids. There are red flags that you always got to look for before, during, and well, you shouldn't have to do it after. Hopefully you got out of there and you're waving the white flag, peace, or else you're waving a black flag, death, which sucks. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully nobody's shitting on your rug. So I'm sorry, Danita, I don't know if you're ready yet. Can we? So when he was walking, like, was it liquid shit? Was it poop hot? Like, was it a cascade?
He was like, I'm hot just like.
Wait, this ain't funny. He was walking, right? First of all, it was like 6 a.m, so I'm sleeping. I'm like, what the hell is that smell, right? And he walking, and he got like his butt cheeks like squeezed together, and it's like, and I was like, yo, you shitting on my floor? Like, and he was like,
process, you're saying.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
No, we have to fight. We have to fight. I don't encourage domestic violence, but we have to fight after that.
Is tainted. And on top of that, you're crapping, and there's like a line, like a P line or something, but it's not. It's crap.
Follow the yellow brick road.
No, I'm like,
that's the brownstone.
Well, in her case, it could be the brown brick road.
That's a brownstone in Bed-Stuy.
Nah, no, you ain't had no bubble guts, yo. You get high, you function high.
Yo,
literally. Oh shit.
Danetta, save us.
Yeah, that's what that
you go
was.
next, Danetta. Tell us red flags you look for when trying to find someone. What red flags would tell you to run away from that person that you're trying to date?
Okay.
Are you ready? Go!
My thought process.
Sorry.
That was a lot, Dr. Lamore. I'm gonna have to go with kind of. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm gonna have to try to kind of piggyback off of LT though. I do look for the communication to be there, because when you at least have that communication, you can kind of figure out some of the things that they're into that may go against you, like if they're always referencing sex or things of that nature, then you kind of already know where their mind is. Another thing I look for before a relationship is the texting. Only because a lot of times when people just want to text, and they never want to pick up the phone and call you, sometimes it definitely means that they have something they're trying to hide from you. That could be a relationship, wherever it may be. But if you're truly into somebody, you should definitely be able to give somebody some phone time. I look for patterns of when you're available. So if you always got a schedule of when you're available, then that also lets me know that there's something going on that you're not being honest about. I definitely don't like control. I don't get the whole logic that if you're in a relationship, you can't have friendships with the opposite sex, but that one person, but they be talking to Susan, Jane, and Mary, and all of them. I don't like that. So that's like a form of control I look for too. And another thing I didn't hear anybody really touch on, because I do agree with pretty much everything everyone said, is just making sure you got someone that's compatible with you. You definitely want to make sure you have someone that's not jealous of you or jealous of where you are in life, because I've experienced that too. And when you get in a relationship with those type people, they're low-key against you and low-key envy you because you're in a position they're not in. You know what I mean? So they're always competing against you instead of rooting for you. So you definitely want to try to pay attention to those things as well. But those are the things I pay attention to. And a lot more, but we ain't got time.
Did good. Despite what Dr. Lamar had to say, messed us all up. And we all got PTSD now.
That was that was it's a brown flag.
Oh yeah, it was red. But, I changed the colors of that. Okay, so let me go.
Are you ready? Go!
Okay, red flags. I know one of mine. I think that's been people's main thing here is communication. Communication. Initially, if I talk to you and I ask you a simple question like, "What do you like doing? What do you like doing for fun?" And you say something like, "I just like to chill." That's a red flag to me. I need elaboration when you talk about certain things. And I ask you, what does chill mean? What do you mean chill? What do you like to do? Oh, whatever's fun. That don't tell me, damn it, nothing. So I'll immediately start talking to somebody just based off of that, because you got to give me more information than that. That tells me down the road that you're not going to be able to open up about harder subjects if you can't tell me something as simple as that. Another red flag for me, and this is coming from a male point of view, and it's probably rare, I don't know, but with children, men usually are supposed to just understand when women have their children, they can't go out, they can't get a babysitter or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, I understand, you're busy, whatever. We'll just plan it for another day. But for whatever reason, in my experience, whenever I have said, hey, I've got my daughter, I can't, go out tonight, I got my daughter doing schoolwork tonight, it starts off okay in the beginning, but after a while, the understanding usually goes away. And it only seems to come from the other side to the father. It's almost like, well, we don't really believe you're with your daughter like that. We don't really believe you're handling your child like that. You just make it up because you don't want to go out with me. You don't want to make time. That's one of those phrases. If you really want to make time, you'll make time. No, I don't have time, so I can't go out. That's a red flag. The same treatment I give to you, I would like to be given in turn. If I have a child that I have to tend to, give me respect the same way I give you respect. That always have 24/7 to give you time. They have to be understanding the same way. Okay. So, anybody else got anything else to say on the subject? I know y'all got more.
What?
Go ahead. I know y'all got more. We can speak on all of it now. We can speak now. We don't have to be quiet. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Was you about to talk crazy?
I was getting ready to say, what? Definitely don't mess with nobody. You got mud butt. Like Dr.
Yeah, like that.
This
How do you learn someone's bowel movements before, like,
You simply
how
do that.
regular are your bowels before this goes any further? How often do you release your bowels?
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I want to say too, another thing to look at or that I pay attention to is like if their parents are still living or their siblings or even their children, I like to see what that relationship is like, you know,
Yes.
between their parents, between,
Important.
you know, their siblings, right? Because that'll tell you a lot about a person too,
Yes. That's
both
important.
good and bad.
That is very important.
Mhm.
About any time that a problem comes up, you speak in exclamation points to start off with. You speak loudly as soon as you have a problem with something instead of just coming in calm, and then if you don't agree
Yeah,
with
you
it,
need to
then
learn how to.
then you get arguing, I guess, yelling. But you come in the discussion yelling, why in the world did you not carry the trash out last night? Why in the world did you not tell me you were gonna be 5 minutes late? Hey, calm down. Hey, now I don't want to continue the date now because you're wholly screaming at me. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One for me too is negativity.
Definitely.
I try to move like in a positive way. I try to stay grateful for things. So every time I hear you and you got something going on, like it's oh poor woe is me, and everything is always bleak and it's negative and you can't find nothing positive in nothing, we ain't gonna do good together.
Right.
We're not gonna do good together at all because that negativity that thing is terrible and I can't do good. I don't do good with that one.
Yeah, it's draining. It's so draining when you're dealing with a negative person.
Yeah, because you're
Not
trying
to
to be
mention,
positive
you know
for
what I
yourself
hate
and them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
you
you're
know,
dealing with someone
I
that
hate when
can't be
somebody,
happy for you,
somebody
that's a big red flag.
when somebody starts your day off with negativity too. Like when I get up in the morning, I like to try to prepare for my day. And I've been in relationships where they wake up and because you're in a bad mood, now I gotta be in a bad mood. But I'm trying to be all happy and stuff, and I gotta deal with you. I feel like that's so selfish for somebody to start a day off with negativity. Like what pissed you off in your dream last night?
Especially if
that's
they
all
make
that
it seem
matters.
like you being happy is a direct assault, a direct offense to them not being happy.
Yeah, or
How could you even be happy right now? It's like, because why the fuck? What, like, like
Good
actually ask
morning.
yourself
What's
that out
good
loud.
about it? Mm-hmm.
Hold on, guys. Hey, what's going on, Tyrone?
Oh,
Hey,
What's up,
Tyrone.
bro? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
How you
Doing
doing?
okay, man.
Yeah, I've been checking y'all out. I'm interested in your little program, so I just wanted to come in and be a part of what's going on.
Okay, well, we can give you some time on the subject. You saw we were talking about the red flags of dating. What would be red flags you would look for in dating? I'll give you 2 minutes time, to give you a point of view on it.
My red flag in dating.
Are you ready?
Hold on, it's fine.
Go!
There you go. There you go.
Okay, yeah, my red flag with me in dating, I really don't even I just judge. I call it like I see it. I don't try to examine people from a distance or try to figure them out. They just have to show me how they coming, and I take it from there to where I treat a woman the way she act, and if she out for the money or whatever she out for, I'm gonna recognize that. So I really don't. I'm not even out for the search for looking for women or even to be trying to date, because most of these women look for you to do a lot of things for them just to get a date. So it's like the red flag to me is when they act like they need my money and when they don't want to show no support in whatever I'm doing in my life. So I look at it as I treat them the way they act. She want to act like she a street woman or she's a quality woman. That's what I'm gonna do. Other than that, I don't even look for no red flags because it's gonna come anyway. And I just let them red flag themselves out of my life because I don't have no time to be playing with women or dating women and wasting my time because it costs to date. And I don't have no time for all of that. So I really I respect all women. I don't look at women to look for bad things to come, but I know I have like 7, 8 baby mothers, so I'm pretty sure about red flags because I have to deal with a lot of different personalities with those women. And plus I have a woman, a fiance, so that's like a whole lot. But the red flag, it'll show in due time.
So let me ask you, so you say you have a fiance, right?
Excuse me?
You got a fiance, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what sold you on her? Like what qualities sold you on like this is gonna be my fiance? Because you say you don't really look for a red flag, so I'm curious to know like what sold you to want to propose to the young lady that you're engaged to?
Well, actually, I was incarcerated about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and she used to always come down to the county jail and stand outside and just be out. I used to have her come down there and just stand out there so she could see me. And she wrote me letters. And then I ended up going to federal prison 20 years later. And she showed quality. When I got out, I had not been dealing with her, but I bumped into her again. And I seen those same qualities in her from back then. So I chose to open my heart back to her.
Okay. Okay, so basically she was because of like the support you felt like you
He was there.
got
He was
from her,
there.
maybe it was consistent throughout the years.
Yeah, and also during the time I've been with her for the last 10 years, she showed good loyalty. Like I say, I have like 7, 8 different baby mothers, and you know, all of them have done bad things. But not saying I didn't do bad things, but they did it back to me. So I was always used to women just tearing my heart apart or leaving me while I'm in jail or taking my money. It's a lot of things that I've been through with women to where if I want to red flag them, I'm a red flag them based on my past experience. But I don't do that because I've lost a lot with women in my past experience.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
I'll add another one, and Sparky probably can attest to this one. When you're a business owner and you know you got to work for yourself, I'm not saying no one else is a business owner. I don't know nobody else's business, but when you work for yourself, people for whatever reason have to misconstrue that means you have more time. For whatever reason, you actually got less time when you work for yourself. So I have to have somebody that understands I'm working to, if I'm in a relationship, I'm working for all of us, but I'm carrying a lot of load, and there's going to be times where I have long hours, and I'm not going to be available all the time. And it's not because I don't want to be around you. That's just the nature of the business. Unless I have workers around me, and even with that, even when you have workers with you, your time is going to be less. You know, you're going to have times where you can go on vacation, you can let your workers or whatever do stuff for you, but it ain't the same as a 9 to 5. It's you have more time. You're really working almost 24/7. At night, something can go wrong, or in the morning, something can go wrong, and you have to handle it because you're the boss. So I have to have someone that understands that, hey, I'm on call all the time. I'm going to give you your time. So, you know, there's a fine balance with that too. You can't be where you're just overworking, you don't give her no time. But she has to be able to understand that I'm not as free as probably somebody who has a shift from 9 to 5 or whatever. It's different. It has to understand that I have to separate my time for work and I have to separate my time with you too. But you the person also have to understand you got to give your mate the time to spend time with her so she doesn't feel like she's being neglected.
Right. Agree. I agree. To that.
I agree too.
Time is hard to balance when you got a lot going on, for sure.
Right.
But if you don't put the time and energy into something, then it's not going to blossom like it should, so.
Right. All right. Okay. I know somebody else.
But the misconception is definitely there, though, that if you work for yourself, which granted, part of working for yourself is being able to have the freedom. That's part of why I move like that, so that I have time freedom.
Yeah.
But like you said, you got to be with somebody that understands that, because them wanting you to take off, go on vacation, do different things. I don't have a check that hit every Friday or
Right.
every 2 Fridays or every whatever. If my wheels ain't turning on my box truck, I'm not making no bread on that. If I'm not selling no house, I'm not making no money there. If I'm not selling no life insurance, I'm not making no money. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do is not necessarily an exchange in time for money like with a job, but if I don't have some kind of sales or something going on, there ain't no bread that's just coming in. So you might can have more time, but the bag is gonna be different. And they have to understand that there's an exchange with both of those. You might can get a little bit more time, but um, either I'm gonna give you time now and I'm gonna make up for it next week, because either I'm gonna do my money making activities either way. But there has to be somebody that really understands, because if not, you're gonna fall out. You're gonna have a person that's jealous over your business, jealous over your time, jealous over your kids, jealous over whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that constant jealousy is another red flag. You got somebody that's always jealous over what you're doing. They're not lifting you up, they're not pushing you forward. They being negative about the shit you got going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need the person to not be understanding about I'm out there getting my bag. And it ain't nothing disrespectful, nothing like that. But you gotta understand, I move how I move so that we can move how we move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand you gotta do that.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to make it even more interesting of a point. What if we're the red flag? Like we're saying, our work schedule. What if it's too demanding for the person we want to be with? What if there's something in our life, in our background, that makes us the red flag for someone that we feel is worth it? How do you go about changing that red flag within yourself?
That's a good one. I actually like how you kind of flip that, but just like
Right.
I think first is just acknowledging that you have the issue. Like if somebody say, "Hey, I don't like this about you," it's up to you whether or not you want to accept that or just kind of brush it off. A lot of times when people say it's something they don't like about me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of very critical of myself, so I do a lot of self-checking or whatever. And if I feel like it's authentically there, then I will check it. But that don't mean I'm going to check it for you, especially not somebody I just met, you know what I mean? But just within and moving forward. So for instance, Big Red, when you said you were saying something earlier that I feel like, oh, that's kind of me. When you like something about the trash can, and you kind of always come in hot. And sometimes when I want something done, or I already asked several times, I definitely will come in hot. You know what I'm saying? But just listening to you is letting me know that regardless, you take it as, okay, you always yelling at me or something like that, and obviously I never looked at it from that perspective, because I'm like, I said it multiple times, so I have the right to come in hot, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it still doesn't get perceived the way that I would like it perceived at that time. You get what I'm saying? So just that little bit that you said, I didn't share with y'all, but I'm sharing with you now. That was kind of like me self-reflecting on myself. So I'm all for that.
What I would add to that, Danetta, what I would add to that, if you do come in and you're asking your guy to do something, make it as it's a favor for you instead of it's a problem for him. You come in and you make it as it's a favor for you, which would be coming in calm and peaceful, whatever. If he really cares for you, more than likely he's going to go ahead and do that. If he views it as, oh, you're yelling at him, then it's also a problem for him. He's going to hesitate the next time, or he's going to separate himself from you some form of fashion. Try to do that. Now, there's a point where if he doesn't do it at all, then hey, maybe you have to yell at him to get him to do something. But initially, if it happens like that, like take the trash out, that's how it comes the first time. He's going to go like, she's a problem. I'm not doing her a favor. She's bringing me a problem. That's how he's going to view it.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
No
I'm going to take that into consideration.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off what the brother, what's your name? Lord
Trent.
Lord Trent. Yeah, the brother was saying, what if the red flag is on us? And I was sitting back thinking about that because me growing up, I've had a lot of situations to where I'm a civilized man. I have good nature with women, and I may be a little too smooth talking. They may draw red flags to them. She might be saying, "Oh, he's talking too slick," or this and that. But in reality, that's just my nature. But like he said, we have red flags too, to where I might have to straighten up. I might meet a woman that don't want to hear me talk so street, or just be, just so out the trenches with my conversation, or just how I take her out to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, if I go out to eat, if I don't like the food, she don't like the food, I might cause a problem at the restaurant. So that might be a red flag that I'm so upfront with situations. So sometimes you have to pipe down so that red flag won't just show all the time.
Yeah, we have to be open to. To not take too much away from what Janita said. Like, even with a person that we're just meeting, I understand there's a kind of a hesitance to, you don't know me. How the hell you gonna tell me about myself? We just met. Like, this is just our first, second, third, fourth, maybe fifth date. But I'm not gonna say people wouldn't lie to you. People are manipulative. You do have to protect your neck, protect your circle, protect your aura. But we definitely have to be more open to, the red flags within ourselves. Because whereas you can, Danita, whereas you can say that, something actually related to you, I'm a little defensive. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person I'm not so willing to admit my faults, especially in front of people, especially if I truly didn't mean to do that. And that's what a lot of red flags are sometimes. Like Tyrone was saying, it's not, it's not a quite negative, but it's a way that I'm hardwired. It's a way that I'm conditioned. It's a way that I'm programmed, and it's coming from my environment. It's coming from my upbringing. It's coming from just the way I, as a person came into this world and the way I react to this world. So yeah, we have to be open to allowing ourselves to be quote unquote checked, and we have to know ourselves on a deeper level to say, you know what, no, that wasn't me being that. That was me being this, but I see how you got that. And we have to be able to say, you know what, that was exactly me being defensive. That was exactly me being selfish. That was exactly me being that. And I apologize. We really just got to learn how to acknowledge ourselves and apologize for our missteps. That way your red flags, they could be like pink. You know what I'm saying? You could be magenta. You can change the color.
And I always feel like part of really knowing yourself is knowing your good qualities and your bad qualities, or your weaknesses, or easier word for it.
You only know half of yourself if you only know what you're good at.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you got to know everything about yourself, or area of improvement, whatever you want to say to make you feel good, make you feel better. But definitely, I think it's important to know all those elements about yourself so that you can work on what is more weaker. Like, if you are more easily led than a leader, then that's something you should work on. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just good to know your strengths and your weaknesses, because we all have them.
True.
I think some of it too depends on the person that you with, because like one's man trash is another man's treasure. You know what I'm saying? What may be a red flag to one person, something about you might not come off as a red flag to another person. So I know, like with me, the way I come off can be a red flag a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't know how to take me. They don't know how, I'm too tough, or I'm too this, I'm too a lot of things for some people. But for me, that's okay. Because for me, that weeds out the weak. Like, if you can't take the way that I am, you're not the person for me. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm not willing to change some things or tweak some things sometimes, but some things are who I am, or who I am at this time. It doesn't mean it's not things that I can't work on, because I'm in therapy, so I'm working on some things, so after a while that might not be the who I am, but that's who I am right at this moment. So if a person can't kind of like accept who I am, then that's another red flag for me. And not the red flag that I'm the red flag, but just that they can't accept me where I'm at. You know, you get with somebody and they want you to be who they want you to be instead of somebody being able to accept you where you are. You know, if you really with, you know, you really care for somebody, you want to be with that person, you know, even at the altar, you take the good with the bad, the rich with the poor. You know, you don't just take the person's good qualities, you got to take the bad qualities too, or the not so good qualities. You know, if you really want to be with that person, because even if you deal with all the red flags, ain't nothing going to be perfect. It's always going to be something that's going to come up that you're going to have to deal with. So the main thing is being able to work through whatever the issues are. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's red, pink, white, magenta, whatever. If it's an issue, y'all got to be able to work through it. Right back to what I was talking about earlier, the communication. That's the biggest thing. If you can or you can't work through it. If you can't work through it, then something major,
Right.
because now one of y'all are having to change who you are to be with the other person. And, you know, you're not being true to yourself sometimes. You see that with people. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you gotta weigh that out too, because when it comes to that, you definitely don't want to have to change yourself to try to fit what somebody else wants you to be. But at the end of the day, too, you just have to know if that's worth it. Just like right now, I know I don't want to know street thug. You know what I mean? So if I get one, I'm just gonna be wasting my time trying to be like, I wish you was like this, I wish you was like that. You just have to accept people for who they are, and also decide if that person is going to bring value in your life or not. Because I know for a fact, someone that can't communicate and just talk about all they know is streets and drugs, well, that's not the person for me. You can be you, you know, I'm not going to change you, but you're not for me. Because in order to be able to work through certain situations, you definitely have to be able to communicate. And if the mental is not somewhere aligned, you're not going to be able to work through problems anyway, you know, with the wrong person. You get what I'm saying? So I totally agree with that. And I just not think that it has to be what you feel, even for a guy, whatever they feel, is it red flags or whatever that I can work with, you know what I'm saying? Or if it's something that I know is not going to, you know, bring any value to my life. So I think that matters too, but definitely don't want to change yourself to fit what somebody else's picture of you is. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think they're titled red flags very appropriately. It's literally something that's meant to make you stop and take a minute to process if you're going to move forward.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they can become we should start calling it red lights. Or you know, red lights mean something way different, especially if you're in Europe. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole district for that. Shout out to TLC. But yeah, they should be called red lights, because you can have a red light, you can have a yellow light, you can have something that makes you slow down. Take a little. Let me yield. Let's discuss this more, and then you know things can become green. Things can become okay. We can go, or you just might have to make a U-turn. All of this has just been tracking buttons. Man,
We got an echo in the background.
we got another echo going on.
Is it me?
I don't know. You gotta hit mute. If you hit mute, it ain't you. Hold on. You just hit. Okay. It's still there.
I think I hit. Oh, I unmuted. Hold up.
Okay. Yeah, it was you. As soon as you hit mute, it went away.
Why does it keep?
I don't know.
Damn, son.
That could be a red flag.
Echo chamber. That's enough. Yeah,
Does she have more than one device? More than one device going in there at the same time, too close to each other?
Nah, she on
I
two
don't know.
podcasts.
I have more than one
She double
device
screaming.
that are close,
Yeah.
but this one is cut off.
She on two. She
Like
on two
the sound
podcasts.
is cut off.
She getting
No,
too
two
Yeah.
cheap.
If it's cut off, it shouldn't bother it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know what it is. What you
I don't
say,
hear it
LT?
now. I don't hear it now.
No, I was at Freezy
I
said
moved
you on two
the
podcasts
You
at
on two
once.
podcasts.
You double screaming.
Oh, now I
Yeah,
hear it again.
moved it a
I
little
hear it
bit.
too. We all echoing.
Yeah,
Did it stop?
I don't hear nothing now. Yeah,
Okay.
there it is.
When I talk,
It's the natural vibe that the refugees bring. I could put some actual echo on this shit.
Nah,
No,
it's
don't put
there.
Put some beat on.
No, it's still there.
Okay, let me try to tell.
Okay.
Hold up.
As soon as you mute it, you don't hear it.
I want to put on remix where put some auto
Now I
tune
hear
on shit.
echo.
That fat,
I
that
hear
fat.
it.
Turn it off so we can
That's
hear it.
Lord Trick doing that.
Yeah, turn yours off, man, so we can hear it.
Oh my
Oh,
bad.
hold up.
Yeah,
You
man.
got two options, do the root canal or
Oh,
go
yeah,
or
right
pull it
now.
out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Y'all
If you're doing it through your computer, your mic, and your video, that might be why. It may be why.
Okay, or maybe I should go back out and come back in, because remember that's what I did last time and it went away.
I don't hear it now. Well, it's like it's been like, yeah, it took a while for it to come. Then I
Dr.
hear it.
Lamar got a peaceful ass home.
Yeah, it's there again. You might have to go back out and go back in.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'll be
Just
back,
having
y'all.
that background.
Okay. Shoot, I forgot what I was about to ask about.
And she just left her light on. That's how you know she got money.
So here's one question I was about to ask. I was about to ask, okay, say you do know what your red flags are.
Word.
Do you list those red flags on the first date? Because, you know, if you were to wait a little bit, maybe some of those red flags may not be so overt. And as you start to date the person and they start to care for you a little bit more, then maybe they'll be a little bit more accepting of your red flags. But if they all come out on the first date, they might be like, nah, I ain't signed up for this. Let me go find somebody else with less of these red flags. So would you say all your red flags or maybe just some of your main ones?
Hey,
Well,
you know what?
I mean, this is a
I'm
deep ass
typing it
thing.
out and I'm printing it.
Listen. I don't mean to. Okay, since y'all get so deep in it about it, if I meet a woman on the first date and she may not smell good, the hygiene is the top priority.
Yo,
Her
that's the theme of this
fingernails,
episode. That's the
yeah,
theme of
her
this episode.
fingernails
Hygiene.
and stuff is, yeah, okay. Now I would walk off on that scenery. I would probably, or don't let me get intimate with her or hug her and she don't go take a shower or anything. Or come on, that's a red flag right there. I'm gonna say something about that to myself, leaving her house like I don't like her, you know.
I'm gonna address
Simple
myself
thing.
about that.
That's a red flag. I don't think if you're 5 years in a relationship, I'm keeping that one. You gotta get rid of that. Something gotta change, man.
Some gotta say, hey, but you know what? And that, like he said earlier, that goes for men too, because I am a man. I know how men are. Most of these men don't even like to take care. You see these guys with these new clothes on and all this and that. But they not washing their tails. And I know this because
Just
I've
spraying
been
some cologne
incarcerated.
on and leaving the house.
Right. You know, they
They
thinking,
got hickory nuts.
talk to me. They thinking because they got all this money, they can just slap on what they want to slap on. But at the end of the day, you're not taking care of your number one priority, and that's hygiene, man.
Yeah, you
Like on cocoa butter on the funk.
Talk to me.
Like Dr. Millar said, they leaving streaks on the sheet.
Yeah, yo, you missed it. There was a whole Dookie Street story there, man.
Yeah, boy.
Damn it, Dr. Lamar. Where you? Karate practice is running too long.
Dr. Lamar she just abandoned us. We got a picture. We got a whole
Dr.
camera
Lamar,
of her
come on, drop
background. That's
one
all
or
we
two
got.
good stories, then she be out for the rest of the episode.
Danetta, let's see if Danetta, let's see how you sound now. Is your echo there? You good?
Can you hear me now? Is it echoing?
I don't hear nothing. Yeah, sounds good.
I did turn the mic off, so I had the video on mute, but I didn't have the actual mic on the computer on mute. So maybe that was it.
Okay. Did you get to hear my last question? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, I was asking, okay, say you know what your red flags are and you're going on a date. Do you tell your date your red flags? You know, if you date somebody after a while and then those red flags come out, then maybe they care about you so much. They're like, I'm willing to work with you because I like you that much. But on the first date, You're more so looking for stuff so you can fall in love almost on the first date. You're looking for all the good stuff. And if you don't hear nothing but good stuff, you'll just go on to the next person. Do you think the person or you should list all the red flags on a first date? Just to get it out of the way. So you take your time with it.
I don't know. Is it my turn to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you, like, one of the last people, ex-classmate, right? And we call ourselves starting to try to date, and that was what he was saying. He was like, you know, I feel like you really worth it. I'm just about to change anything for you, anything, you know, like he said all of these things. And I did see red flags, and when I tried to communicate those things with him, he wasn't accepting of that. You know, even though he's sitting up here trying to say he want to change this and change that, he was like, you're not gonna change me, and you gonna accept me how I am. And I'm like, wait a minute, you said that you were pretty much change anything. I'm bringing this up to you, or whatever. So what's the problem? But one of the major red flags for him was he was not a big communicator. And that like instantly almost like shut me down to where I didn't want to talk to him no more, because if I can't communicate with you, then there's no point. So he had that and the jealousy. So I don't know if it's a good thing to put the red flags out there or not. I think maybe, you know, we should let ourselves dissipate, you know, organically or something, because everybody is not accepting of change or constructive criticism. So I don't know. I think it would have to be, I would have to read the situation and kind of go from there, because it might be pointless telling somebody what their red flags are. It was pointless telling him that, even though he was the one telling me to tell him that. So
yeah, that to me that could be a red flag too. Where someone says, where someone says, and I understand what people are mainly saying when they're saying "take me as I am." But no one in this world, or at least no one in this world, should stay the same for every day that they're on this earth. If you're going to live to be 70, 80 years old, you should embrace change if it's for the better good. Now, there are some people that want you to change for their good, not for your good. So that's where you have to recognize the difference. There's some people that are not doing it. They're doing it for them. Hold on for a minute. Okay, sound in the background. But yeah, not most people, but you should look for someone who wants you to change for your better good. You knowing that they're looking out for you. There are those vultures that only want you to change for them. And that's the big difference where you find a good mate for you. But no one should just be resolved that they shouldn't change for the rest of their life. You're 25 and you don't think you should ever change.
Right.
You're 40 something, you don't think you should ever change. It's an ongoing game for the rest of your life. You should be working on change until the day you leave this earth, in my opinion.
Right. Bettering yourself. I think another red flag too is if you're.
I completely agree with you on that. I could have sworn I had. Hold up, am I still? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, because I thought I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay.
Yeah, I heard that. You good?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, it is on Do Not Disturb. How's the call coming?
I think you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you pretty. Go ahead.
I think another red flag, or maybe one or two of them, is when you're dating somebody and like the first or second week they say they love you or they're in love. That's a red flag. You don't even know me. How are you saying that you love me or you're in love with me?
That's a good one.
Now, some people would say that's their love language. They fall in love. Like, is anyone that person on here? Is anyone that kind of person?
What's that? What's that?
A person that falls in love, or that can. Has anyone ever told someone that they love someone that quickly?
No, that ain't. That's not love. That's lust. You're not.
Yeah, exactly.
You're infatuated. No, that's a.
I can believe.
Red flag.
I think that too. That's a strong.
That's a red flag when somebody is telling you, "Oh, I love you. I'm in love with you." Don't do it.
Especially after never
having you. I don't know what would happen if you won't in this world, man.
I feel like that can only happen if you've known this person prior to that. Like you've already had some built upon type of relationship. But yeah,
When
just
somebody
swiping
says
and
I can't live without you, then I'm expecting them to either slit their wrist or kill you soon if you ever fuck up.
yeah, see, that's just someone that yeah, that's how did you meet that person? What side of Tinder were you on where you found that psycho?
That also tells
I
me you
think
probably
that
tell 20 other people the same thing when you first met
But
them.
I wanna know who's to determine what is a red flag. So basically, everyone have red flags. Like you were saying, the question when she came back on, how do we deal with it when we recognize these red flags and we was hoping that they change them and then we bring it out to them. So that's just like with my girl. My girl right now, I can say I have a few things that I may not agree with. That can be a red flag if I had just met her.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what we were saying too. Do you
I
give all the
understand.
red flags in the beginning, or do you wait until the love builds up and be like, "Hey, I can handle that. I love her enough that I can handle that."
That's
I
it.
think it might be
But
bad.
see, I don't know if I would refer to those things as red flag. I mean,
Talk
I
to me.
guess red flag is just it's just a term we use to say a boundary is something I have an issue with, you know. And yeah, there are
Or
certain
something
things
to look
that
out for.
you can probably acknowledge later on down the line that could probably be an issue. But we all play that game when we're interacting with with a person that we're interested in. We're taking a gamble. Is it worth it? Is there like we were saying, is their place in my life worth it? Is their time and companionship worth it? Is what I'm going to get out of them worth what I'm going to put into them? We should be saying.
Right,
Some of us.
right, right.
Oh,
I
oh,
think too that now when you were saying somebody was asking what everybody was asking earlier, if you state your red flags at the beginning, I think if you have certain things that are gonna be considered red flags, your ass gotta state them at the beginning.
yeah.
Like
And you know what? You're right. There are certain things. Yeah, you gotta.
there's certain things that you got to say that shit at the beginning.
Yeah,
Men, you date a chick and you find out that bitch is a transsexual that used to be a man. She should have said that shit at the beginning.
that's
Yeah,
a
them
very
both.
simple and easy
Yeah,
way. Yeah,
okay.
like
That's a
Yeah,
come on, dead ass.
and
You need to tell that
not
shit
even
up
for a
front.
hateful
yeah,
reason, but
yeah.
just
You
because
need to
that's a
tell
major
that
part of your
up
life.
front because that's something that I should be able to determine or make an educated decision about whether I want to deal with the shit you got going on. And
Right.
certain things you need to be upfront and honest about at the beginning. That's just an
You're
example.
right.
That's
This is
not
still
just
You're right.
like
it, but
if you dating someone like
Uh,
if you're in an interracial
Right,
relationship
if
and
I
that
meet
right.
person is racist, like
if I meet a woman and she right, if I meet a woman, I go over her house and she nasty as the kitchen and all this and that. The next time I come over there, first thing I'm gonna say like, damn, mommy, you gotta clean up in this motherfucker, clean up around here, baby. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna peep out her
somebody
movement if she gonna start cleaning up then, and then I'm gonna sit her down and tell her, I ain't with this one here. I said just she'll be like, what
I
you
ain't
mean? I'm
with
like, just you, baby. It's like this ain't what I expected. I say something like that to him, like this ain't what I expected, and you showing me that this is what you about. So, and I would just only be speaking on her cleanliness as far as how she operate or her household, her kids, or you got all this old food, and I might go in a bathroom, I'm gonna look in the tub and everything. I could tell if they've been using the tub. I ain't with that. I'm not with that.
This is what I have an issue with because y'all saying like the red flags up front. Some people, to me, it ain't no point in giving you no red flags because I'm just not gonna deal with you. Like a prime example, I went on a date with a guy sometime last year, and for one of the things he was talking really really fast. Like I'm ready. I need somebody in this house with me. I'm ready to do A, B, C, and D, and all of this, right? So I'm like, well, I don't move that fast. You know what I'm saying? But to me, already that was a red flag when they try to talk to you, talk to you too fast, right? And so, or move too fast. So when we go on the date or whatever, then he starts telling me about his escapade with other women,
okay.
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
disrespectful ass.
yeah, it's like, so at that point, I'm like, okay, so you just travel, you just on here dating, trying to travel to have sex with women. That's what I got out of it. So I'm not gonna tell him that red flag. what I did do as I continued the conversation, kind of like, okay, we better cut this short, and I wasn't even gonna ask him to pay for my dinner or whatever. I paid for my half of the bill, and I was ready to go. And I never talked to him, never called him again. He never called me again. I wasn't gonna bring up no red flags to him because I had already lost interest. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So,
but see you.
it's like maybe the person that you feel like you still want to continue to talk to, maybe to get down the red flags, because I don't feel like everybody deserves them. I feel like some people you just gotta let that go and move on and forget telling them red flags. You know, that's what I feel. I don't know.
But you gave him a red flag actually, and he probably was just venting. That's just like if I meet a woman, especially on a date, if you dating, go in there. I'll be out in a minute. I'll be there. Go back. And you be dating, and let me get away from him. And you dating someone, and shit made me lose my train of thought. But what I was saying is, damn, my daughter made me lose my train of thought. Y'all hear me?
You were saying you feel like I gave you a red flag.
Oh yeah, you gave him a red flag because, like I said, I mean,
I can't hear you.
things that's going on in y'all life. When a man first meets y'all might be just leaving the relationship, so he probably was just venting, and you really gave up on him, and he was just he wanted somebody to listen to.
Well, I didn't want to go into details about these escapades, okay? But let me go into details. That way you can probably reevaluate.
No.
First of all, the first escapade he told me about was basically that he had a woman over his house that came, like, been over his house for 7 days. And I guess he flew her in or whatever. And she had, like, tore up his house and stuff after the 7 days because she got mad he didn't have sex with her. And I was like, she was at your house, spent the night for 7 days, y'all didn't have sex? And he was like, no, we didn't have sex because her private parts smell like pee. And I told her she needs to take a bath. And so he was saying this before we even got to dinner. So then when we was at dinner, then he tell me, now granted, he just said he had this lady over his house that was at his house for 7 days. I'm gonna guess they definitely probably had sex or whatever. But anyway, he basically was saying like 2 weeks later, he had traveled to Fort Worth to meet this other lady that he didn't know for Thanksgiving. And he equally didn't have sex with her because her vagina smelled like pee, and she had tissue balls in her vagina. Like, okay, that's
Noticing
not
a theme
a
with
conversation to have with me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, that was a red flag. And so to me, you just basically you done been with 2 women that you claim you ain't laid down with, but you got close enough to know they vagina smell like pee or they got tissue balls in it. So I got the impression that he probably was just looking for sex. And furthermore, I don't even think that's an appropriate conversation to have with somebody.
It's not. Were y'all talking about this over dinner?
Do he know Dr. Lamar?
I was about to say, whoa, it's not
Might be one of Dr. Lamar exes. One of the
I can't make it up. No. That's exactly what he said. So,
but yeah, if y'all are talking about that over, also, yeah, that could be a red flag right there in the show. The appropriate time to discuss these things. You can let me know that hygiene is a pet peeve for you without going into excruciating detail about the
He ain't say that because he wasn't talking about hygiene. He said that because he was trying to get her to be like, well, my poom poom don't smell like that and ain't got no damn tissue balls. And then that would have been his opening to be like, well, where's we going to go check that shit out after this? That's all that was. That was to get her, that was the bait to get her to bite so that she could say her shit wasn't like that. And that would have been, you know what I'm saying, the call to action. Like, oh, we won't. Nah, that's all. That was that shit. That was bait. He was using clickbait, trying to see if he was gonna get her to be able to bite on that shit and say her poo poo wasn't like that, and they was gonna move forward. Yeah, man, that's all that was. He was
That
trying
was
to
an
bait her.
old nasty man.
He was trying to bait her ass,
He
man.
was. He was
I'm
looking for
gonna
some
tell y'all
tail.
red flag.
That's
I'm
He
gonna
what
tell
tried
he
to
y'all
pull some
red
candy out
flag.
of his pocket.
I'm gonna tell y'all red flag on dating sites, and it's more so of a pet peeve for me. I guess it's a
Word.
red flag too to me because I think a certain way if I were to see this in a profile. If I see in your profile, and this is just me, if I see in your profile, you say, and this is just obvious stuff I would think people would know anyway. I don't date cheaters. I don't date liars. I don't date people who beat their kids. Obviously, you should know that you don't date those type of people. That what that tells me, what I think when I hear that is you dated somebody like that and you're holding on to something that happened in the past, and you're probably going to transfer that over to me. You're going to be like, oh, this dude's probably a liar too, or this dude's probably a cheat too, because of what happened in the past. If I see that, that's what I think. It may not be true, but that's what I think. I'm like, why do you have to mention that off bat? No one ever goes in and say, hey, I really love liars. I really love cheaters. I hope you're a cheater. We know that all back. Even if you say that to the other guy, are you a liar or you're a cheater? If he's a liar or a cheater, he's not going to tell you that. So why even list that? He's not going to tell you. That to me, that's a pet peeve.
Right.
Red flag.
Yeah.
That's just like us wanting a woman. I don't want no woman that's running around here sleeping with everybody and acting like she a man or she a player. I don't want her. So I understand that in a sense coming from a woman, but I don't like women that carry themselves like that. So that's a red flag right there, so it's all around the board. You got red flags
It's
all
like
around the board.
it's projection. Is what it is. Like someone hurt you in the past, and it's leading with a negative foot forward. It's like like you said, Red. Like we know what you don't want out of a relationship. Like why is that the way you're choosing to market and advertise yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like saying I don't like serial killers. If you a serial killer,
Don't come my
swipe
way.
left, damn it.
I do stuff like that. Don't come my way.
What?
They putting so much energy to it though. That's what the hell they gonna attract. You know what I'm saying?
it's
By
like
keep
a
putting the
serial
shit
killer
about
gonna be
liars
saying,
and cheaters,
"Oh,
keep putting energy to it, you're gonna attract that shit. That's what you're gonna keep getting.
I'm
somebody's
not like
lying.
serial
Jeffrey
killers."
Dahmer. I'm not
You just
Jeffrey
mentioned
Dahmer. Nah. Come back to my house and see what happens.
Bundy gonna pull up me like that's a challenge for a person. You don't like being lied to. I'm about to tell the meanest lie.
But would it be a bigger red flag if they was like, well, I do like liars and cheaters and people that beat on their children? Or is it a bigger red flag that they said they don't like it?
I guess it would be bigger.
There are women out there. There are women out there that act like if a man don't beat him, he ain't loving them type shit.
That's true.
That's a
That's mental illness. Mental illness. That's what.
That's true.
I mean, it's all some sort of mental.
Yeah, there's some they say they won't date you unless you beat you.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't want that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that either though, because I ain't getting no charge from nobody.
Hell
I'm saying,
nah.
like, you clearly don't care about me either.
She gonna try to push my buttons to get me to that point. Like you gonna beat me,
right? She gonna see how much you can take.
Right. So yeah, that's a huge red flag too. Yeah, I agree.
Hell yeah.
All right,
So that was an interesting take from the profiles because I don't really pay attention to that aspect of it. When it comes to like online dating, I pay attention to like most of the people that have somebody, they don't have their name on there. They have some weird name. They have a weird age they're not even, and then they have their location in a whole nother place.
Yeah, and it's some metaphorical place.
And look, their profile got 2 words on it. Into dating. That's it. They ain't gonna
Now, see, I wasn't like that. Back when I was single, my fucking dating profile, like because I talk a lot, so and I can write well. I use punctuations. Like you're about to get me, like, and I'm not about to tell you what I don't like. I'm gonna tell. I like comic books. I like going to the movies. I like, like I'm going to put my positive foot forward, because I want to attract to me people that are for me. I can like I've gotten to the point where I can accept being someone else's red flag. Oh, comic book nerd. Now just swipe left on this month. Cool. I don't want to sit and watch whatever. I might not want to sit and watch whatever the fuck you're into. Why would either of us waste our time with that? That's literally what the swipe left and swipe right is for. And
Right.
if
That's true.
use more than 2 words. So that goes back up to a lot what you were saying about communication, like how that is a big red flag for you. And that's something social media can tell you how people communicate, because it's literally the form in which we choose to communicate the most, especially for fucking.
Agreed.
rugged.
Agreed. Yeah,
All right.
that's what they
let's come
use
to
it
a-
for now.
We're gonna come to a conclusion on that one. We're gonna go to the next subject. We're gonna take a little commercial break right quick. We'll be right back. All right. Oh, let me get my screen back up. I got it before. Lost everything. Oh, there we go. Got it. All right. So now we're gonna go into. I have everybody up there? Okay. We'll go to the leave it or medicated part of the show.
Leave it or medicated.
You muted, Big Red. We can't hear what you're saying. What's the leave it or medicated?
Am I muted?
You didn't hear it.
There you go.
Was I? Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. All right. So thanks for pointing that out. Leave it or medicate. Leave it if whatever subject matter we're talking about. Leave it if you agree with the subject matter and you want to leave it as is. Disagree, medicate it, and tell us what you would change about the subject that we're talking about. And so the first one we're going to do, got a video about it, is should you post your relationship matters on social media? We're going to show a video with that and have somebody talk about that right quick, and then we'll talk about it and give everybody a chance to speak on it.
People in your business, invite people to tell you how your relationship will work, invite people to tell you what happiness is for you. Every single relationship is unique, and social media is literally the death of relationships because you have this platform that tells you what your love should look like. It's impossible. You cannot make it that way. You've got to seclude your relationship. You have got to keep that thing out of other people's reach, because if it's sacred to you, why does everybody else need to touch it? There is a reason why when you shake somebody's hand, you reach out to them with your right hand, because it's the hand that touches the least amount of
I don't know about that boo
I
part.
think I'm right-handed.
I'm ambidextrous,
I mean,
so I mean,
and I touch a lot of.
yeah, that was beside the point, I guess. But so this is a leave it or medicated. Leave it if you agree with what she said about having your relationship secluded from social media. The relationship is yours to deal with. You know, keep it amongst your friends, family members, or whatever. Don't give it to the people that you do not know, because you don't know these people on social media. They could be in China and Germany or some other state, 2 states away from you. They don't need to know all your business. Do you agree with that? With what she had to say? Leave it. If you do not agree, medicate and tell us why you want to medicate it. So, Sparky T, I will go with you first. Do you want to leave it or medicate it?
I'm gonna leave it.
You're gonna leave it and tell us what you think about it.
Ready? Go!
I don't really think that there's nobody online's business about your relationship. I think that a lot of times people put things out there, they putting their representatives out online and not really putting out all of what's going on. You know, people put some of this, some of that. But like she said, you know, a lot of times when people do that, you're putting somebody else in your business. You're asking for somebody else's opinion, or either you're asking for them to affirm what you're doing a lot of times. And that shit is messy. Every time somebody got something going on in a relationship, I don't know why the hell they run to Facebook and yeah, when a man do this, he do that, or when a woman do this, because both sides do it. That shit is lame to me. And I just be like, I don't understand why people do it. We're not little kids, and it's just not everybody's business. You know, you should be protecting your relationship. And if you do need to go talk to somebody, you know, talk to somebody that can be neutral, one. And I'm even not even about necessarily telling my family and my friends everything that's going on in your relationship. You go and you tell your family and friends whenever you got something bad going on in your relationship, you be done got over that shit. They still mad at you. You know what I'm saying? You done made up. You done got over it. You know, things back cool. Your mama, your people, your kids, or whoever, they still mad because of the information that you told them. You know, and had you kept that to yourself, you know, or balanced it with good information too, sometimes some of the things that be going on in people's relationship wouldn't be like that. So I really don't think that there's none of social media's business, none whatsoever. Like I understand people posting stuff on social media sometimes like to keep people, you know, like family members might be far away. So people post stuff so people can see pics and stuff, but people do too much with that. Especially if you having issues and stuff like that. Every time you have an issue, you cannot go there. That cannot be your soundboard. People on social media don't got your best interest at heart, and they don't give a damn about your relationship. So you go in there asking them to be the judge and jury about what you got going on with the person that you lay next to is fucking asinine.
Okay, cool. All right. Breezy, do you want to leave this situation or medicate it?
I'm gonna leave it.
I'll leave it. Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Like Sparky T said, that's your personal business. Nobody should know what's going on in your bedroom. You're sending all these subliminals out there on social media. You might want that person to know, but talk to your partner. Stop posting your personal business. One thing I hate is a person that's always saying, I did this and we did that and we did. You talk, first of all, people don't have interest really about your relationship. You'd be surprised who's watching, may try to sabotage your relationship. It's you and your partner. That's it. Social media don't have to know none of your business. And it's no privacy. We over here. We just went here. We went there. And then when things is not right, and you know, then all of a sudden all the pictures are down. All the pictures and places that you went to. But you shouldn't post that stuff because nothing is guaranteed. So whatever's going on in your relationship, you need to keep it to yourself. Social media, it's just too much going on in social media. You know, why would you want people to know what's going on in your relationship in the first place? And these people on social media, it's the entire world that's reading your stuff. It's not just your family, your friends. I think it's too much. People need to keep their business to themselves because it's in other words, I'm trying to say it's your word, his word, and the right word. That's what I'm saying. So you going on there saying little negative things about your partner, and then they going on doing it. It's childish. It's childish. Whatever's going on in your bedroom or your life or whatever should be amongst you two, not for the world to see or hear. Because you could be looking for attention. I think a lot of people post their stuff and their business for attention.
All right, okay. LT, you're next up to bat. You want to leave it or medicate it?
I'm going to, I guess, leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
Okay.
Are you ready? Go!
That is a very interesting point you brought up at the end, Preezy. I've been seeing a lot on TikTok. There's this new thing that married couples are doing where it's like you see married women kind of just disrespecting the fuck out of their husbands, talking shit, like getting on there, talking shit about them, like saying, look at what my husband made me do for his family when they came over, or my husband is mad at me for spending all of his money at Target, blah, 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 blah. And it's like you're kind of using your relationship or you're using your partner as you're using attacking your partner, belittling your partner, and showing pretty much just disrespect towards your partner as like uh, a as an attention grab. And people are just really banking off of their relationships now. Like I've seen so many people pop up on shows just because they're in a relationship, and honestly everything should be done naturally. And I know people that get into relationships only because they want to be able to share them on social media. They want to be able to do that sort of thing. I agree with Sparky T. I think that's asinine. Everything that you do should not be done for the validation of others. Like to measure your relationship, your connection with someone in likes, retweets, shares, how many people are looking at it is completely stupid. Now to share images and photos with yourself because you have a business, because you actually network, because this person is legitimately in your life and you're sharing moments of your life. But social media is a great connector and a great divider. We need to know when to put it down. We need to know when to keep things sacred. We need to know when to keep things to ourselves. When we put everything on there, again, we're only showing the snippets. We're only showing the little aspects that we can edit into 15, 30, or 60 seconds to make us look good and our partner look like shit.
Okay. Danetta, you're up next on it. Do you want to leave it or medicate it?
I'm gonna leave it.
Okay, tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. And I pretty much agree with everything everyone else has already said. I definitely think your relationship is, your personal information and shouldn't be put on Facebook. A lot of times what I see on Facebook is, how you put, Facebook or social media, period. You know how you put in a relationship with such and such, and you might have their picture as your profile. And as soon as y'all get into it, the picture profile changes, you're no longer in a relationship, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. I see so many people do that, and I'm like, we basically know when y'all on good terms and when y'all on bad terms. I even think, even if that's the case, there's nothing wrong with posting your significant other and saying you're in a relationship with them, for social media to see, because some cheaters like to put single when they're really not. But if y'all have a disagreement, why do we have to know y'all had a disagreement? Why don't the profile pictures stay the same, the relationships stay the same, and y'all deal with it afterwards? Because at this point, y'all kind of look toxic and bipolar and everything else. Because one minute y'all in a relationship, the next minute you're not, you're in it, you're not. We just going through the motions with you, And so I think you should keep it to yourself. Another thing that I want to touch on that Sparky T said is just even when it comes to your family members, you do have to be selective of the information you get to them, because if you're constantly feeding them the negativity of the relationship every time you turn around, like she said, once y'all make up and over it, they're not over it, and they're continuing to build a type of hate or dislike for that person, because at this point they don't feel like that person is good enough for you, because it's not a balance of the good and the bad that's happening in a relationship. It's just, I'm calling you every time he does something negative to me. You know what I mean? And that's all they have to really feed off of. You know what I'm saying? So even that creates a problem within families. So that's my spiel.
Okay. All right. Tyrone, do you want to leave it or medicate it?
I'm gonna leave it like everybody else left it.
All right. Tell us why.
Ready? Go!
Yeah, I'm not with the social media, just simple and plain. I personally check my whoever, fiance, woman, or whoever personally for even putting something on Facebook about our relationship. So I don't even draw off that. But as far as me talking to her, I might have a problem with a friend or something. I want to talk to a friend about my relationship. I might have a problem with my woman. And I do talk to certain people, I do. So I do medicate it as also because you do need that. And I'm not ashamed to say what's going on in my relationship. If she did something wrong, if my woman got caught, if I caught her with another nigga, I'm gonna tell I'm gonna call my buddy, man, I caught her with another man, man, what's happening? How should I handle this or whatever? Because I'm not into hitting women or doing things like that. So sometimes you need to talk to someone, but I'm not going to put it on Facebook or anything, or I wouldn't want her to do that to me because I've done a lot of bad things to women as far as cheating on them or being with another woman, and I wouldn't want them to do that to me. So it's all about the respect, and I try to live under those terms, and I feel that's just total disrespect on whoever behalf, if the woman did it or the man done it. So it just don't help because you have people saying, oh, girl, don't leave him. Oh, man, do this and all this and that. What Facebook gonna do for a person that's having a inner relationship problem to where I don't even tolerate it? So, I don't support none of this social media. I support social media about keeping it real. I like to be real on here. So I'm not trying to say nothing or want to post nothing that ain't true. Like someone was saying, post that you love your better half and carry on.
Hey, cool. All right. Guess I'm gonna leave it like the rest of you guys.
Are you ready? Go!
The reason why I have to post something to social media is because it's a history record. You go into any other facet of life, let's say work or your parents, and they posted every argument or every bad thing you did when you were 5 or when you were 12, when you were 16, when they caught you smoking in the house when you wasn't supposed to be smoking, and then they talk bad about you, but they put it on social media. You're never ever able to let it go because it's always there as a reminder. Same thing like in a relationship. If you're in a relationship and you have an argument with your significant other, you two may want to move past it, but it's in the history for everyone else to remind you that that actually happened. You can't let it go. It's almost like if he were to bring up something that happened 2 years ago to your face, and like, I thought you let that go. Or he was to bring up something 8 years that happened 8 years ago that you were supposed to let go. And you were like, I thought you were going to let that go. How come you can't move past that? You posting that on social media as a historical record for your relationship, not just for you two, but for everyone else to remind you of what happened. You're never able to move past some things because all they got to do is pull up the history. And then it's also something for everyone else to look at if they want to sneak in and try to get in a relationship. Like, oh, I saw that he was arguing with you the other time over something small, man. You probably should leave that guy. Or vice versa, you should probably leave that girl because she ain't no good for you because I see how she treats you. You put it all on social media. So that's just one of the couple reasons why I don't like social media. And then again, you don't put all the happy moments up there. And the other point I was going to make, I'll probably go over just a little bit. Most people who talk on social media, but most people who talk on social media, just like when they talk to their friends and their parents, they're only going to tell the good part that happened in the argument. They're not going to talk about what they did wrong. So you're preaching to the choir and everyone's going to be cheering you in the background, saying you are right the whole time when you're not giving the full story. You're only giving your part of the story. That's why people put it on social media when good things happen and bad things, because they want to hear confirmation from other people besides the person they should be talking to that they're doing the right thing.
Everybody feels like and treats social media like it's their personal journal, their personal diary, but it's not. It's literally connected to all of the world.
All the way.
Like it's everywhere. Like it's connected to all of the world. It's not just like you can put up there what is personal to you, but yeah, you have to deal with the ramifications of now people having that image of you. Like people, social media is your narrative. It's a story about yourself that you get to write, and you get to preach it to your choir. So when you go on there and you get to say the things you want to about the situation that you're in, you get to paint that picture the way that you would like to. And yeah, you're right. If I've been your friend on social media and I noticed it every night, like, and it gets so annoying, like Priestley, like you were saying, like I hate opening up my social media or anything I'm looking at and just seeing people that honestly feel like I care as much about their relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Be
so
too
it
much.
happened again, y'all. Like, what, y'all?
It be too
Like,
much. Or the people that get mad, you posting your business on social media, and then you get upset when people make comments or say
especially when
stuff
you
like,
decide
yeah,
to still go, like, still be with that person.
That's the one right there.
yeah, but you posting the stuff and people responding. Now you're gonna get upset about their comments. I
Because
just think
Exactly.
people
it's
put
an
too much.
emotional manipulation for that person. They want to use it again. I feel like people that do that mean to use it against that person. Like we literally wield social media like a weapon.
Yeah. Nobody's
I
using
mean,
it to get advice. They're using it to get confirmation that they're right. They get mad if somebody disagrees with them. Get off of my Facebook. It ain't your Facebook. You don't own it.
Right, it's just too much.
I literally saw someone tell, like, on Twitter, tell them, if you don't like it, get off my page. Woman, you just Twitter is literally just like running outside and yelling some shit out in the
Yeah,
street. Like, just run
amplified.
outside in the middle of your neighborhood and just yell some shit out. Hey, fuck Joe Biden and them niggas at the White House.
Yeah. All Twitter is your voice amplified throughout the world. That's all it is.
Like, there's no page. Like, motherfucker, this stuff's everywhere. And guess what? A billion people.
Oh, your dad.
Dad,
All right.
dude,
What anyone else had to say anything on this? Okay.
fuck Joe Biden and them niggas in the White House.
All right.
What?
On social media now. So a lot of people don't heard it now. All right, let's move to
I'm proud
the
if my kids hear that message like 30, 40 years from now, whatever the fuck, I'm proud that they heard their father say fuck Joe Biden and them niggas in the White House.
let's move to let me pop them back in real quick. All right, let's move to the next subject matter. Now, this one is kind of more so for the ladies. We're gonna talk about it too, guys, but more so for the ladies. Short man complex and dating. Like that's some people might think that's a red flag. Dating short people. According to this one lady,
Could
it
be.
is.
Not easy to be around. They're not easy to date. They're very angry and they do project their anger onto us. They are very insecure about their height and they may not have smoke for the over 6 foot men that's been picking on them their whole life, but they got that smoke for us. And I think that is a reason why a lot of women prefer to date men over 6 feet because of the confidence issue and not wanting to deal with the insecurity and the anger and the bitterness that comes with a lot of men who are short. So we got to consider that too.
I saw a TikTok earlier today where this woman stated that men 5'9" and under are hard to date and they have anger issues. And I was going to stitch it, but I do not want to draw any more attention to that asinine mess because there's already thousands of women liking it and commenting on it in agreement. So all y'all are going to sit and judge men based off of their height and chase the same men 6 foot or 6'2" and above and get mad when you find out he got more women than the Cash Money Records Back That Ass Up video. How can I possibly believe this foolishness? You cannot judge men overall based off of their height. That's like a man looking at me and say, oh, she always angry because she got little skeeter bite titties. Where's the sense? You just not gonna get to know the person at all. You just gonna look at his daggone height and just make an assumption. I'm sorry, fellas, y'all might got it harder than us.
Okay, so I'm just going on this one. I'm just going to have the ladies answer on the leave it or medicated, and then we can chime in right after that. Danetta, see, for the first woman that spoke, we're not speaking on the second one. The first woman who spoke about men in their height and why she can't date them. Do you agree with her? If you do, leave it. If you disagree with her, medicate it and tell us why. So first,
Wait a
you
minute,
want to leave it?
because I sure wanted to clarify. We talking about the lady that diagnosed the short man.
Yeah, the first one, the picture you see up here
Okay.
now. Yeah, her. It says that
Okay,
she can't
definitely.
date 5'9" and under guys, whatever, because of how they act, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I
do you
know
want to
what
leave
you
it,
said.
medicate, or leave it? You agree with her, medicate, you disagree. And you
I
tell us.
medicate because I don't agree with that. You can't.
Okay. Hold on.
You can't judge somebody
Ready?
like that.
Go!
And I'm gonna disagree with it for several reasons. One thing I think that a lot of people don't understand is it's all about preference, right? And people do have preference. Some people prefer taller men. Some people prefer, shorter men or whatever. Me personally, I prefer taller men because I'm already like a thick woman, and I feel like a shorter man just doesn't make me feel as womanly, right? Just because of the physical aspect of it. But even with that being said, I have ran into some very confident guys that were shorter than me that did get my attention and turned me on because of their confidence. And one of them smelled so good. Like I just had to do a double take. And he like hit me with that smile. And I was like, oh, you but you know what I'm saying? The confident part is what really got me. Because obviously, that's something that I'm attracted to as well. You know what I'm saying? So it never turned into like a dating type situation, but the narrative that she's given is definitely false because that's not true. I don't know if some men might have that type of syndrome, but you can't put that definitely with all short men because all short men are not like that. And a lot of them are very confident and, I just have a preference. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all. But definitely don't agree. Definitely don't agree. And some of them are really good with their hands too. I've seen, like they're handyman, mechanic. I've seen so many of them. And those things to me, those qualities, those are equally sexy, attractive, and they catch my attention as well. So that's all I got to say. And smart ones, yeah, smart.
But still, in the end, you won't date a short guy.
Short
By your
man.
preference. So you still wouldn't date a short guy by your preference, though, right?
Asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, so I think naturally I wouldn't look at them in that, I feel like I wouldn't look at them in that capacity. Right. But because I'm more of a woman that's captivated mentally, you just never know.
Well, what's a short man?
But he can't be no midget though. Now he can't be no midget though.
What height you talking about?
Yeah, what Preeti said.
Shorter than you. That's a short man, they saying. Shorter than you.
Oh, shorter than me?
What's your minimum? What's your minimum height?
So I feel like I'm about 5'7". So he could be my height. He probably cannot be. He can't be 5'5". I don't think. I think that's gonna be way short, like underneath me. Like he can't be under my neck or nothing. He can't be there.
But you'll be able to smell them better there because your nostrils will be.
Now, wait a minute. What is the neck?
The smell will
if
go
I'm
up.
about 5'7", if he has my neck, he's probably about 5'4".
5'4".
So you wouldn't date Kurt Franklin or Kevin Hart? You wouldn't date Kurt Franklin or Kevin Hart?
No. But I love Kevin Hart and Kurt Franklin. A little bit.
Gotcha. Okay, you got a preference. All right. Preeti, you want to leave it or medicate it? You agree with her or you disagree with her?
I disagree.
So you want to medicate it. Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Well, I guess it's all about your self-esteem because I know this guy at my job, my title job, and he was nice looking, and he was probably about 5'6", and he got all the women, so it didn't matter. His personality was nice. He was handsome. I say he was about maybe 5'6". Yeah, and so many short guys have the Napoleon complex, but if you got personality, it don't matter. Now, I'm about 5'4.5", 5'5". I would probably date somebody an inch or two taller than me. They don't have to be super tall. I don't know if I would date somebody shorter, but then I don't know. You love is love. I don't know. It all depends. Sometimes maybe sometimes we could be too picky in life. We could maybe look for the wrong things, but I'm pretty sure you have to be attracted to the person. But 2 inches taller, you got a job. It's all right with me. Listen, I'll make you tall. Hell with it. You pay. You taller than me. You coming right. But a lot of guys, I think it's about your self-esteem. Because like I said, this guy, he was about 5'6", and I'm telling you, he pulled these women. They loved him. So it's about who you are. So it's all about your self-esteem.
All right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the explosions here. All right. All right, Sparky T. You there?
I'm here.
Okay. All right. So did you want to leave it? You agree with her or medicate? You disagree with her?
I'm medicating it.
She medicating it.
Are you ready? Go!
That's like ridiculous to try to group people just according to their height. Now, with that being said, I do kind of understand some of what they're trying to say. Kind of how they talk about people like short people having Napoleon complex. So I think that they may be trying to reference something like that. But even in that, all short people don't have Napoleon complex. So you still, are really generalizing. I think that you have short people that are good people and short people that are not so nice people. I think you have tall people, that are good people, tall people that are not so nice people. If you date somebody just based on their height, I think you're going to find that sometime in life you getting something that you're not expecting because you just went based off the height. If you go based off the height and nothing else, you could miss a whole lot. There could be a lot packed in that small little package. And you passing it up just because, it's not tall enough or, but I do understand the preference and we all have preferences. But I do think that it's kind of crazy to just judge somebody just on their height. She gave them a lot of bad qualities. She gave them short people a lot of bad qualities. They got bad attitudes and, their anger. And it was a lot just based off of the height. And I don't think that I've met any group of people that all of them are like that. It's a real generalization. And it's sad that you have people out here that, won't give a brother a chance just because he's short. That's not really anything that he can do something about. It's not something he can change unless he puts some lifters in his shoes or something like that. But he was born that way. We're not talking about somebody that's a little person, and even a little person, they deserve love too. So I don't get that.
So what's your minimum height that they can be?
I don't have a minimum height.
Okay, so you date the guy that said the plane from Fantastic.
Well, you know what? I'm really into the person. So if there was a little person that had swag and caught my attention, I think it would really be about their confidence.
Okay.
If everything was about them being a little person, I would never work. But I have dated people shorter than me. Matter of fact, my first husband is shorter than me. My first ex-husband is shorter than me, and that's my second son father.
But you
I'm saying who me now? I'm 5'5".
Okay.
I'm 5'5", and he was still shorter than me. So he like 5'2". I say 5'2". He hit the 5'2.5" though. He put that half on there, but he's still, he's a nice, bit shorter than me. So that's not an issue for me.
Okay.
How tall are you, Big Red?
I'm 6'2".
What you, Lord T?
I am literally 6 foot even.
I'm 6'1.5". I'm like 6'2" too.
So we got nothing but 6 foot people up here. So she ain't talking about us.
No, I was just I didn't know if y'all was short or not, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, we ain't gotta worry about nothing. So
It's interesting because like I've encountered like if I encounter a woman that's taller than me, then she's fucking tall. But that honestly that would not turn me off of her though. Like so it's interesting that like women are immediately turned off by men that are shorter than them. And I mean just me and my preference as a man, like a woman because I remember those episodes of like 90 shows and shit where a taller girl has a crush on the main character but don't nobody like her because she's tall and they think tall girl equal ugly. It's weird how it's
yeah,
reversed
yeah.
in like in gender kingdom.
I think that's a good question for y'all. How about y'all answer that? Are y'all gonna date a woman taller than y'all?
No, I like them. I don't care. A woman can be short, skinny, anything. It's a woman. I don't care. She can. I don't really. She can be big, tall, or whatever. It's like you know what I'm saying. She just have to have a great personality. Just be a genuine person. It don't bother me. I never, cause I seen them all, tall, small, little, all of them look nice. So I don't discriminate.
And I'm not like the tallest dude ever, so I'm not like I'm not eclipsing the women that I choose to date. And
Yeah.
so 9 times out of 10, if we're going somewhere nice, they put on some heels, they could be taller than me. I'm fine with that.
If that, I'm
Hey, what about you, Big Red?
I'm
You
about to
dated
say, if
somebody
that.
taller than you, and I'm talking about with after heels, LT.
I mean, I still would if she
I
like
here,
Megan Thee Stallion. It probably looks me dead in the motherfucking eye,
she probably would.
but she is a nice look. Shit, there are some WNBA players I used to have crushes on.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
some
lying.
that
Like,
I don't know. I would say somebody if someone my preference, I wouldn't probably go for somebody who's 6'6" or 6'7". Then yeah, I would want her to wear heels at some point.
I
So
like
probably gonna be
Amazons. I'm a comic book nerd.
6'9", 6'10", or whatever. But that's a very big rarity in the world. There's way more shorter guys under 5'9" than there is 6'5" women. But it would depend on her personality. But that ain't the first one I would go to. What I will say is, I would date someone taller than me before I would date someone who's a midget.
Little
Oh, you
person.
cancel. Oh, you
Little
cancel.
person. Yeah.
Oh, you cancel.
Yeah. And it really got nothing to do with that kind of does.
We
It
talked
had
about
nothing to do with how they
before.
look, but if
It's
you
fucked up because
tall,
they're almost
you
as
know,
finished. It seems like.
if you tall, most tall people don't want to have to reach down and get something off the floor and have to bend down, especially when you get older and stuff. So I don't want to have to pick up somebody who's the same size as my child or
Big
the child
Red,
was young.
you remember that time you showed me that video of the guy that was dating the little woman, and it looked kind of
Yeah,
funny because she looked like a little kid.
yeah. What's the name of the show? I can't believe it.
Oh man, that
I
was
can't.
That's a
Some,
is that a
Shauna Ray.
TLC show or
I am
some shit?
Shauna Ray. That show. She's like
boy.
4'2" or something like that.
Oh my god.
But she's she was like 20 something. And she having a problem trying to find somebody to date. But yeah, that's too short. I don't have to pick that girl up off all the time. I mean, I'm getting old, man. At some point, all the acrobatics are gonna have to go away. That's why I don't live in a house with a lot of stairs. I want to live in a single level house. I gotta think about my future. So I don't want to date no short girl. I gotta like pick up and put her in the car seat and stuff like that.
And the thing we don't think about, we call short dudes angry. We tell them they have Napoleon complex. One, Napoleon did a lot of great things, depending upon which region of the world you're from and how you have your perspective on that. But he conquered a lot of the known world. He led an empire. Those are pretty admirable things. And but we also don't like we call these men angry, but then we get mad when these men, I don't know, walk into like Walmarts and shoot them the fuck up. Like we can't keep diagnosing these people as this thing and then acting surprised and outraged when these things happen and the culprits behind them fit the description of the people that are kind of just being attacked unprovoked and lumped, like generalized and attacked.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all the little men, like, because honestly, the national average isn't like one. We're all about sick something because we're black. Like that's just genetics. Like when it just boils down to it. But the average American male, and when we say American, they base that upon white. That person is only 5'7", and most of these school shooters, most of the people at that January 6th riot at fucking Capitol were probably 5'7" and under. Like these are the little men that keep getting told that they're angry, and guess what? They're acting angry as shit. So at a certain point, yeah, we have to, like, we're calling these motherfuckers angry. At what point do we acknowledge their anger, or are we just telling them to get over it? Because yeah, it's like if a woman is displeased with her body, we've gotten to we've gotten to an era in our culture where she can go and modify it. It's perfectly fine. It's her body, her choice all the way. If a woman doesn't want to modify her body in healthy ways, like, you know, changing her, like if a person doesn't want to modify their body in healthy ways, such as changing their diet and losing weight the old-fashioned way versus getting liposuction, or just settling for being out of shape and overweight, there is a certain championing of certain people who get to do that. Either you're gonna love my body the way it is, or whatever the fuck, or I'm gonna change my body and make it the way it is. Versus you can't go to a doctor and get your knees extended. Like Dr. Miami.
Wait a minute, that's not true.
Okay.
There's a guy that did it.
Yeah.
And see, that's aesthetic, because
I just read about it. Yeah.
And that's stupid. That's dumb. Because like just like your fake titties and your fake ass is gonna look stupid in about 12 years.
He spent $170,000.
That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing ever.
The motherfuckers gonna buckle. They gonna buckle in 12 years, like he's saying.
Yeah.
For some knees?
Yeah.
Some knees,
Yeah.
Dr. Lamar. Thank you.
He felt he was too short.
You gonna be in a wheelchair anyway. Shit.
Walking off. That boy probably walked like Frankenstein.
All right. Let's move to the last legal medicated. Now this one is a interesting one. This one is, you know, we're talking about two parents, two people in a relationship, and they just are having a baby that's coming on the way. You know, women are always talking about, you know, my body, my choice. They should have the right to keep the baby or abort the baby. And men typically don't have any right, whether to keep or get rid of the baby. Understandable, but that's an argument for another day. But the question is, should, I was going to say, make sure I didn't hear you. Okay, I guess we're good. Should men have the right to financially abort away from the baby? If the baby's on the way, should a man be able to say, hey, I don't want to support this baby? You want to keep it, you want to do whatever you want to do. But if you want to keep it, I should be able to have the right to say, I shouldn't have to support this child because I didn't agree to having this child in the first place. We have a video of that, and I'll put the right one up. People are talking about it and giving their point of view on it. And then we'll go around the room and give everybody's opinion about it.
Natural abortion if he doesn't want to have the child. Defend your answer.
All right, please explain what financial abortion.
Meaning you told this girl I'm not involved. Good luck.
Yeah, I believe that's 100%. I think it should be actually a law, to be honest, because
Because if I tell you I don't want this baby and then you go
Why
and
are
get
you
that
fucking
baby,
without a condom if you don't want a baby?
That's not the
people do stuff.
What?
Hold on, listen.
That's
My
the
thing is, and not for nothing, but I despise that rebuttal. Why are you having sex? Because the funny thing is, when the woman doesn't want to have a baby, but the man wants to have a baby, but the woman gets rid of the baby, the man just has to sit there and take the L and suffer. But when the man also doesn't want the baby, and then the woman does want the baby, and she decides to have the baby, the man has to take the L and suffer. So either or, we're in a lose-lose situation. So even in me having a child myself, I could personally say that if I have a child, and even though I'm present, I can only imagine if I wasn't present, so fully I wouldn't feel right. So even if I did have a financial abortion, I would still suffer.
Yeah.
You know, I would still suffer. A piece of me is out there that I don't really know. I can't really touch. I can't really feel. I can't speak to. And you know, it's gonna grow, or he, whatever it may be, will grow, and I have to live with that on my conscience for the rest of my life. I'm still gonna suffer, but I should have the right. I should have the right to suffer, to choose how I'm going to suffer.
So
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
but in everything that we do, I do agree with what you said, but in everything that we do in life, there is consequences to anything that we do. Nobody wants to get into a car accident, but you choose to drive. So if you know that either or it's a lose-lose or a suffering situation on both parties, because, I mean,
But there's seatbelts and there's airbags that's supposed to keep
there
your
is.
life alive.
It's supposed
And there's
to. And there's
condoms.
condoms. That's supposed
That's
to.
supposed
But
to.
if you
Okay.
do the act, you're taking
hold on.
that risk.
Let me say this though. Right. So, I think not using a condom is like choosing to drive recklessly.
Without a seatbelt.
Okay. Right. Without a seatbelt and an airbag. However, a woman has a seatbelt and an airbag just in case she gets in an accident. So what that means is if you guys conceive a baby, you have a safety net to say, okay, I can go take a plan B, I can get an abortion, or if I'm against abortion, I can give this baby up for adoption.
Okay. So, this is the leave it or medicated. Leave it if you agree that men should be able to have financial abortion from the baby. Medicated if you disagree. You tell us why. You give us your reasoning why. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to start with Dr. Lamar on this one. Dr. Lamar, do you want to leave it or medicated?
Whew. You know what? I'm gonna have to say yes. I think a man should have that right.
Okay.
I really do think that.
Ready?
Oh, I think so. You know, I think so. First of all, I would rather for a person to tell me up front that that's what they want versus this child is 2, 3, 4, and 5 years old and build an in and out relationship with them. But yes, I do think that. I do. And I know we can, you know, argue and say, well, it's birth control and all of that out there. Got it. But yeah, I think a man should have that right. That's it.
That's it? All right. So not even an explosion on that one. All right.
I'll get cussed out tomorrow, but I think so.
All right, Sparky T.
Uh-oh.
Did you want to leave it or medicate it?
Ooh, I actually think I'm gonna leave it.
You're gonna leave it, so you agree that it should be.
Yeah, you said that again to make sure I knew what I was saying. You agree.
All right. All right, go ahead.
Are you ready? Go!
Okay, so I do think that if, you know, y'all both laying down, you know what the possible consequences are. But I also agree that if a man don't want to have the baby and she want to have the baby anyway, and she wants to do it and move forward without him when he's already stated those not his wishes, he don't want to have nothing to do, no money, no da-da-da-da-da, why should he not have the right to walk away? The same thing like they were saying, if a woman want to walk away, she gonna walk away at all costs. Even if she leave that shit on the door, the steps at the firehouse. If she don't want that baby, she gonna do everything to walk away. And if she doesn't, in a lot of cases, people end up mistreating the kids, women and men. You know, so if the man really don't want to have nothing to do with it, states you don't want to have nothing to do with it. And the thing that's crazy is there's already stuff out there like that. It's called signing your rights away. You know, men do it, women do it. People do it all the time. Not all the time, but all the time. Shit. Some people are in foster care. Some people are allowed to adopt children and all of that because the parents' rights have been, they've signed the rights away. The rights have been restricted. They've been gone. They've been stripped. So with that, that's a form of that. When they don't want to have to do with it, they got to go through the court system and do it, but there's still a way to do it. People should not have to have kids that they won't want to have, men or women. And I agree that we should, you know, honestly, we should look at it on the front end and use birth control and, you know, be responsible and all these things we should do. But, you know, if you're in a situation where you haven't done that, both people should have the right to, you know, really do what they want to do. If you want to be involved, be involved. If you don't, them be able to walk away. Now the thing with that though is I hate when people walk away and then you have a situation where they make it, they get big. Then here comes the person that walked away and didn't want to have nothing to do with them, and they want to be talking about my son or my daughter. Now that be the bullshit.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, Breezy. Do you want to leave it or medicate it? You on mute.
Sorry, medicated.
Okay, you want to medicate, so you disagree.
I think so.
All right, tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Well, at the end of the day, if you don't want that to happen, you should be using protection. Things do happen, sometimes protection may, things happen. But it's tough because, if the woman wants the baby and the guy says, hey, listen, I don't want the baby, and she decides to have the baby, she's got to understand that he may not be around, and maybe he might come around and change his mind. He wants to see the baby, like, hey, I want to be in the baby's life. You never know. Or if he doesn't want to be in the baby's life, then, you got to do what you got to do as a woman. Life goes on. It might be hard, but, take him child support. I mean, do what you got to do. But it's her choice. I mean, it's hard. And I understand what he said. If she said, let's say that she wants to get rid of the baby and he wants to keep the baby. So it's a mess, first of all. So I don't know. If you don't want to get into no situation like that, or use protection. That's just the bottom line, You gotta have some type of backup plan if something was to happen like that. And, it's a difficult situation, but I don't think anybody should have to tell you, well, I'm going to leave you if you have this child. Then go, because you're not in, maybe you don't, obviously you don't feel, you don't love me enough to be with me with this child. So she got to make that decision on her own. I don't know. It's rough when it's a situation like that. Use protection.
Okay. Next in line, LT. What you got to say about the matter? You want to leave it or medicate it?
Damn. What is the leave it and medicate it like?
Leave it if you agree that men should be able to have a financial abortion per se. Medicate it if you disagree with that.
Damn. I both. I guess I'll leave it a little. I'm gonna leave it alone a little.
All right, go ahead.
Are you ready? Go!
I don't think the point of everyone should be safe when they're having sex. Like we literally give ourselves to people very quickly. Like again, communication plays a large part. You should know if the person that you're allowing to enter your body, like she said, consequences play a large part play every part into our world, our reality. If you do not put on a seatbelt and you get into a car accident, you could die. If you have sex and you don't use protection, someone can get pregnant. Like these are things that we know, and literally no one really just wants to say, but it don't feel the same. Like everyone is literally choosing their own momentary pleasure over the lifelong and literal lifelong consequences that are going to come, literally and figuratively, come with your decisions and the lack of protection that you are using in that moment. With that being said, I do agree that, yeah, it's like Sparky T said. It was funny because me and my girlfriend were joking about it the other day. We had pulled into a fire station to make a U-turn, and I was like, these motherfuckers probably think we about to drop off a baby or some shit. Because it's literally accepted and it's fine for a woman to do that. She has the ultimate right over her body, her choice, and the child that comes out of her body, she has the ultimate choice to decide what she has what she wants to do with that child moving forward. If she wants to stick around and be a mother, if she wants to maybe let her mother raise it and she continue to go to school or continue to do whatever. Like, she has the choice, and society is going to let her live with that choice. Versus if you're a man and you walk away from your child, you're a deadbeat. There's no redeeming yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everyone made the choice to have unprotected sex, but only the woman gets the choice to abort the baby.
Okay. All right, Tyrone, do you want to leave it or medicate it, man? You on mute.
You muted, Tyrone.
You on mute.
Oh, okay. I said. So me, being against being a father that don't want the kid, mean I would medicate it, right?
Okay. Yeah. If you no. If you leave it, you agree that men should be able to have a financial abortion. If you disagree that men should have that right, then you medicate it. Then you tell them why they should.
Yeah, I disagree. I will medicate it.
Okay.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, I don't agree with because I have 7 kids, first off, so that would be saying that I would have told the mothers to get an abortion, or I didn't want those kids, and I can't say that. And then also, I'm a non-custodian parent. I have a program that I'm starting in the state where I'm at, and we are NCPs in action, and we are non-custodian parents. So therefore, meaning if the woman didn't want the baby, I should have the right. I supposed to have the right to get my baby. And I am a non-custodial parent because most fathers don't have those rights. We pay child support. We have to support. So that child is part of my custody, but we are actually non-custodial parents because the child relies with the mother. But in reality, we supposed to have parts to that child also. So we may be dealing with a situation like you say, the mother may want an abortion. And I'm the type of person that I wouldn't convince her to do that because I'm just not against not having a child. If I got her pregnant, like he was saying, you didn't use the condom and you chose to do what you did, you have to accept responsibility for your actions. And I'm that type of person. So I love all kids. I love the parents. You know, I love the women that nourish their kids. So I can't say nothing about giving up on a child. So, you know, I don't have all my kids in my life. So I'll never be against, if a woman got pregnant by me today, I wouldn't be against not having my child. So I just can't go with that one.
Okay. All right. Last up for me, Danetta. What do you want to do? Do you want to leave it or medicate the situation?
It's actually kind of hard, but I think I'm a medicated. Yeah.
Okay, so you disagree that men should get the right for financial abortion. Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, and I don't want to say that I solely completely disagree with that because at the end of the day, we're talking about a different type of man because there's plenty of single parents out here where the man has just walked away and not taken care of their kids anyway. So they've already made that choice. So I don't even feel like it's a matter of making that choice because men make that choice every day that they're not going to be a part of the child's life. That's why you have so many single mothers out there, me being one of them. Now, the reason why I was medicated because if I got to be held accountable, everybody else could be held accountable. When I decided that I was going to lay down and I end up having kids, I can't sit up here and say I wanted to have kids, but I just didn't believe in abortion or anything like that. So at the end of the day, my actions led to that consequence, so I just got to deal with it, you know. And I love my kids to death, but I wouldn't. They wasn't planned. but just because they wasn't planned didn't mean that I was going to abort. And women do that all the time too. So they have that right to exercise it. But just know that all women don't exercise that right anyway. It's just something I don't believe in. But on the same token of that, I do feel like you don't want to pressure somebody into having a baby they don't want, because just like someone mentioned, I can't remember, but the whole thing of, I think that's why we got unfit mothers that do mean things to their children, or I've heard of men killing the woman because he didn't want the baby by her, you know what I mean? So it's all kind of other things that could take place when someone doesn't want a baby. So I kind of feel like in the same token, it needs to be there to exercise that right. But at the end of the day, if you know all the risk factors, you know that you don't have the right to abort the baby if anything happens, then just make the best choice from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself, wrap it up, and you won't have to worry about being placed in this position. If not, you just decided to take that risk, so deal with what comes with it.
Okay, all right. I'm going to leave it.
Are you ready? Go!
I'm gonna leave it because, as I always say, between men and women, I don't think things can be equal, but it can be fair. I can't sit there and say you have to keep the baby because you're the one who's going to be pushing it out. And you're the one who's going to be taking the risk. At the same time, the reason why I'm gonna say leave it, well, for several factors. I think there's an all or nothing principle that goes with it. If you're going to be able to say, and I think it's more serious, I think, on the women's end, if you're going to be able to say, I can't keep the baby because, again, it's your body, but you're killing, in my opinion, my child, and I have no say in it. I think that's, in my opinion, more of a deadbeat than a person who says, I'm not going to accept financial responsibility for it. I mean, you call father a deadbeat if he doesn't want to pay for the child, then what is it called if the mother doesn't want to keep the child? So I think if we're going to be, again, we can't be equal. If we're going to be fair, there should be an out clause for the guy. If he doesn't want to be there for the child, he should be able to relinquish his parenthood or not have to have financial responsibility. What else I also think it does too is if you know that there's a possibility that the father doesn't want to be there, maybe you'll take more care that who you pick to be with, because you know that you may not have that other safety net of having a child, and you may not want to go to the point of having an abortion or Plan B or whatever because you don't think you have that safety net of a guy being there. You'll be more likely to pick who you're with more patience than just going and being just with anybody. I think a guy should be able to, again, have financial clearance to not pay for the child, because I just think it's fair across the board. A woman can be able to get rid of a child, and she has several different ways. A guy should have at least this one way to not be in the child's life. I don't agree with the father not being in the child's life. I think it's dirty either way. But if we're going to be fair, it can't be equal. If we're going to be fair, I think the father should be able to have that right. Just like women have at least 30 to 40 different ways they can get rid of a child. The guy's just asking for one. Only one.
That's because we carried the child for 9 months. That's why we got all those different things.
I mean, it's true. Well, that is true, but
yeah.
Why can't you keep it though? Still, I understand you carry it, but that doesn't mean once the child's born, you no longer carry it. That's maybe what we're talking about after the birth. We're not talking about like during the birth. And we were saying not for people who have bad health, and then their life is at risk. We're just talking about people, I guess, who are going full term of the pregnancy if they want to go through full term. Because most people statistically don't get rid of the child because of health reasons. They just don't want it because it's an inconvenience. And that's what most guys who probably don't want to take care of the child financially don't want to pay for the child because they view it as an inconvenience.
But see, I feel like that's why they gotta protect themselves. And I think another thing it boils down to, you think in the video, now the guy who was arguing the point of the financial abortion or option or whatever, he also said that even though that's how he felt, he don't feel like that's something he could do anyway, because then you have that feeling of there's a part of you out there that you're not being a part of their life and taking care of. So then if you're able to do that, then you also have to be able to deal with whatever mental impact it's going to have on you as well, with having a child out there you're not taking care of. However, from my experience and because of how everything is happening now, I'm not sure if it bothers men as much or not, because it is a lot of single parents out here. It is a lot of men that have already decided they wasn't going to take care of their children without having the conversation of saying, I want to sign my rights away, or I want to not be financially responsible for this child. They just left and decided they didn't want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if it's necessarily so much of maybe a conversation for the responsible people out there, but it is too many other non-responsible fathers that are just not a part of their life, period. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they equally do be having that right. It's just a group of men that want to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? They would prefer not to have a child on the earth that they're not a part of their life or taking care of.
Yeah.
But men do it every day. Is all.
Do you agree that? And here's what I'm saying is because of the safety net, I think the conversation, if do you want a child first, is not really had, because like, well, if it happens, I got all these options here I can take. Do you think if that was put into play where, okay, a guy can say, well, I could just disagree at any time with paying for this child, that more women would be like, okay, I'm gonna guard my insides a little bit more because he may be leaving and I'm gonna have to do this on my own, you know. And I know it happens a lot anyway, but would it give more pause maybe if that is implemented for most guys to do?
I think it depends on the person, because and the only reason why I say this is I do know other men that are in situations where they didn't want to have a child, but they got trapped by the women, so to speak, because that happens too. But that comes in the part where you have to be more selective and know the person you lay it down with, because there are women that have sex with men just to try to get a baby and trap them, knowing that men didn't want to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? So you do have those situations like that, but that's where you have to be definitely even more wiser in who you lay with, or more selective than who you lay with, because you do have those type of women out there too that will have a baby just to trap you. And I have friends that have been in those situations, and they have to take because they're responsible men, they're not just going to leave her as a single parent. But at the end of the day, if you just kind of hear how everything happened, you can definitely tell the woman trapped them, knowing that they didn't want a baby, you know, knowing they wasn't ready to have a baby, but they did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like they found a way to still have a baby by them anyway.
Well, how about this and I may be changing a little bit with this, for the guys that are in the child's life, but don't want to be on child support. They support the child, they pay for clothes and all this type of stuff, but women still put them on child support. What if they had this right to take them, I guess, financial responsibility as far as child support, to give them that option, but they'll still take care of the child?
Wait, what was the question? What was the question again? The woman want child support, or she doesn't?
No, the whole thing was, should men be, could they be able to have a financial abortion? Could they separate having to pay child support for their child if they don't want the child, once the child comes in the world, whatever? Should they have to pay child support? Should they relinquish their ability to have to pay for the child, you know, the living, the clothes, the food, and all that type of stuff, dental, you know, insurance, all that type of stuff?
And you agree to that, Big Red, right?
I agree they should have the ability to. Just as sure as a woman should have the ability to do. Well, I don't agree with abortion per se, but if you're going to give a woman these many different ways to have abortion, give a child, and give her for adoption, I think guys should have financial abortion as well. I don't agree with wanting to do either one, but if you're going to be fair, you're going to give one side one thing, you should give the other side the ability to do that too. And what I was saying a minute ago was there are some men who take care of their children and pay for their children's stuff, food, clothes, dental, all that type of stuff, but they're still put on child support. Should they be able to say they don't want to pay it that way, financial responsibility to be able to pay it on child support and just take care of the child as is without being in the home?
But see, what happened with my daughter's father, right?
Can't trust that though.
Yeah, I didn't want the child support. The reason why I didn't want child support because I didn't want to be bothered with the courts, right? And I know some women, some people have to, right? But I feel like this: you should not have to tell a person the baby need diapers, they need formula, they need this, that, and the other. You should just know that. And at the same time, like even my pride, like I don't want to have to call you and be like, I need Pampers, I need this. I didn't want to have to go through that. And then like I lived in Pennsylvania at the time. I had to bring in 6 months of pay stubs, insurance forms. I had like a whole binder. And then he kept like trying to play the court system. He put himself on child support. And he didn't realize once you put yourself on child support, he said, I want it documented. Okay. When they got documented, they was like $1,500 a month. He was like, wait a minute. You want it documented. That's where it's going to be. Then he wanted it like decreased. And then I didn't realize until that time that your child support also kind of the custody kind of goes into it because he was with me like 80% of the time. So he was like, I want more visitation. I was like, cool. Yeah. Cool. I was like, look, that's a break for me. He wasn't, you know what I mean?
That's where my question come in at for all the women. All the women, I want to ask all the women that have babies by men, since this is the subject. Do y'all feel okay? Since it's just what she was speaking of, do y'all feel just because you have a baby by this man, he should be able to come and get custody of this baby like y'all have custody of it? I told y'all I'm a non-custodian parent, so we trying to get our rights to where, like you said, he's paying child support, he's doing this and that, he should know to buy the Pampers and things like that. So do he have the right to come and say, well, I want to keep my baby for 6 months 6 months out the year, and you shouldn't be able to say nothing? How do you women feel about that?
But to be honest with you, like for instance, right, I would have loved for him to come and get her more because I think, like I have a daughter, you've seen her walking today, right? Daughters have different relationships with their fathers, and it was certain things that I wanted him to do. He was trying to spite me, right? It was crazy. Like the judge was calling him from the bench. That's how, like he was playing the system, right? And so if I didn't show up, I would be in contempt. If he didn't show up, nothing happened, right? But I feel like this. If you want to come and spend time with the kid and you have a decent place, why not? You're the parent. I just don't think that courts should have to dictate how you should raise your child, right? I just
talk to me.
When they got involved, right? We had to take pictures of the house, which was in the room. We had to have like bed, changing table, all that. Like they really had everything spelled out. Like how many people? Like most people don't have changing tables, right? You put them in the lap and you change them, right? But that's what he wanted. But I don't think a court should have to dictate how you should raise your child. That's just me. And his family is in her life. They don't set up like a little college fund for her. Like they're real cool. I love it. And I'm like, hey, anytime you guys want to come, y'all cool, come on.
Okay, what do y'all have to say about the question Tyrone presented?
I'm sorry, I was too long-winded.
Well, for me, I would have loved that too. I don't have a problem with it as long as they are stable and they can be trusted. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? I don't see anything wrong with it. It just wasn't my situation. So, to be honest, it just wasn't. But I feel like as long as they are stable, responsible men, there's nothing wrong with them wanting to get the child for longer or whatever. Because I'm kind of like you, Dr. Moore. I don't really want them, have to go through the court system either. Just sometimes they just leave you no choice. You know what I mean? but it definitely wasn't my preference either to go through that stage. I would have loved more help, especially taking that load off, because being a single mother, it can become stressful sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when you don't have anyone to help you out. So even if it was just time spent, that would have been good
Yeah.
enough for me, even if you didn't have it financially. You know what I mean? That does matter. So I wouldn't have had no problem with it. Like I said, as long as they were stable, responsible, and I could trust that. So.
I know I love when income tax came. I was like, oh, we done won the lottery. He called me and cussed me out the next day.
But who normally dictates who tells you if it's a stable environment or not. They normally don't care if the guy has a stable environment. They normally are going to give you full custody or custodial rights over the guy. They don't. You would have to be a crackhead as a woman to get to give away prime custody to just the guy. That's just the way the court system works.
Yeah.
You have to be a horrible, horrible mother, and even then, they're gonna try to work with you to still give you.
Yeah.
Why? You got it.
I'm like, shoot.
Well, see, I don't know about prime custody. I wouldn't mind, like, if I keep him for 6 months, you keep him for 6 months. Something like that. That wouldn't be the problem.
Sorry.
Huh?
I was gonna let you answer the question.
Okay, I would say, right. I would say, I don't know, I'm kind of split on it. That wasn't my situation either. So let me start by saying that. And I was a single parent. I had my youngest son as a teen. So I was a teen mom. I had my son in high school. I did it solo dolo. His father didn't say that he didn't want to be there. He just wasn't there. But at the same time, I didn't want the courts to have to tell him what he needed to do for my son. So I didn't put him on child support. I wasn't tripping on none of that. I'm saying, if they got to tell you what you got to give him, you ain't got to give him shit. Keep it. You know what I'm saying? And he still, like, my son is grown now. He still doesn't have a relationship with my son. My son has a real animosity towards him. I'm saying, my son has siblings, all of that, on that side. And it doesn't flow right. Now with my second son, I was married to his father, whatever. And after that, though, once we got divorced, we used to kind of battle a little bit, but I let my son go and live with his father. He said he wanted to go and stay. Like, I had went out of town, he was with his pops or whatever. And then when I was coming back in town, he asked me if he could stay for longer. So I asked him what the longer mean or whatever. And I really wasn't feeling it. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't feeling it. But that's what my son wanted. So I was with it and I let it happen. I'm saying, my son still came to my house every day. He went to school from my house every day. We still had our relationship. He just basically didn't sleep there. But even that only lasted for a period of time. Even with all the assistance that I was given, still doing the school drop off, feeding this, and that, after about 2 months, they couldn't rock like that. And my son came back home. But if I wouldn't have let my son go and stay with him like that, my son would have had an animosity towards me, because he would have felt like I was keeping him from his father, or that I had kept him from his father. So I always made sure that I didn't do that. So for that, even though I thought it was against the best interest, or that's not what I would have had happen, I let him go anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I let it play out. Sometimes you don't think that that's going to be the best situation, but sometimes they need to go, whether for it to work or for it to not work, so that they understand what they got with the custodial parent. I'm not even going to say with the mom. So they got, so that they understand what they had with the custodial parent. Because a lot of times, as children, the kids will, they take their parents for granted, especially the one that's there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes they got to go and experience something else to understand how good that they have it. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. And that's the same thing with the kids in that relationship too. So if they don't get to see both sides, they don't know both sides. All kids need both of their parents, regardless of what the situation is with the parents, how it was, Da, 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 da. As long as it's not nothing abusive, and even if it was something abusive, that's when you have mediators and guardian ad litems come in, and they act on the best behalf of the child, but the child still get the experience both of their parents. God made us where we have two parents because He wants us to get more than one view. He don't want everything to be from the mom's view or from the father's view or from the mom's family's view or the father's family view. It takes a village. He want the kids to get it from both sides, and the kids benefit and are the most well-rounded when they get it from everybody. And I'm speaking from a place where I've been the parent where my kid didn't have that. Now he turned out good, great, and not good, great. You know what I'm saying? But I did a lot of overcompensation for the fact that his father wasn't there, and I had my mother that was standing back to back with me. So what was, not being put in place over there, I still had somebody else helping me because, like I said, I had him as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? But, the other thing, too, I feel like if you want your kids, you got to fight for your kids. Because I even know somebody, you know what I'm saying, the chick wanted to get the abortion after they was a little deep into it. Shit, my people took her to court. And they put a stay on that shit. She couldn't get no abortion. Like, the courts got involved. Yeah. Yes. Like, the courts got involved. They got involved because they were planning to basically have the baby, and then she started doing shit out of spite once they wasn't working out. Yeah, he went for all his rights. Oh, no. And he fights her tooth and nail on everything. Like, sometimes when I be watching, I be like, damn, he being petty a little bit. But you know what? Women be petty. We be petty over our children. Why don't men have the right to be petty over their children too? You know what I'm saying? If he didn't pursue the kid like that, then we would say that he didn't want the kid or he didn't care about the kid. Now he going hard for the kid, and it seems like he being hard on the moms. But it's not even about the moms. It's always about the kid. And that's the part mother and the father need to remember. It's all about the best interest of the kid. If you take yourselves out of it and keep it about the kid, shit would be so much better. But we have a hard time doing that. But that's what we really need to do. You got to put the kids first.
You made a good point when you said overcompensated, because I overcompensated, my mother overcompensated, and it turned out to be disasters. When I say disasters, like I have a good kid, but she does we overcompensated so much that she doesn't understand value of stuff. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't have a concept of anything. She just think I just have unlimited everything. And it's
almost like a sense of entitlement.
Yes, it's like a blessing and a curse. Like y'all probably see her in the back arguing mad because somebody sent me 2 brownies and she wanted the damn brownie. She didn't want it because it was here. And I'd be like, really? Yeah, they have that sense of entitlement. So it's like a blessing and a curse. If the parent wasn't there, you overcompensate. I overcompensated, not that he just wasn't there, because I was always working or school. I'm always doing like 20 different things, right? But yeah, I mean, that's a curse too. I think kids who don't have it end up better. This is my perspective, because they have to work for stuff. But then you end up like this.
I think it's a balance to it, because sometimes kids that don't have it, they end up down the wrong path.
True.
But I think if it's balanced, then, we got a good chance, because I have my children, and I can definitely say that my oldest daughter definitely feels entitled because of the overcompensating. Yeah. And she's, because I was a teen parent too, and she's 20-something now, and she still feels entitled. Like, you're my mom. You're supposed to. No, I'm not. Really, you grown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that shit don't stop. Girl, mine flipped to 30. And he's still, and not even on that. But my thing is, I still overcompensate. Like, it don't stop on our part either. Yeah, I'm saying I can't even I just had my first grandson or whatever, but I still overcompensate constantly because I still feel a particular way. You know what I'm saying, about the situation, and that I could have made better choices. If I would have made better choices, his life might not have been like that. So even as an adult, I still be there, still helping. You know what I'm saying, and as long as I have it and have a breath in me, guess what? I'm gonna keep on helping. Because my mom helped me, and not in a bad way, but my mom helped me. Like, and even right to today, my mother is the mother that she had my back no matter what. She will go to the pits of hell and kick the door in for me. You know what I mean? And with that, she's always been like that. And I want my kids to know that I'm the same. Now, my father was there for me too. My father, God rest his soul, he's gone. But when he was here, my dad had my back too. So I try to make sure that my kids see that. You know what I'm saying? That they know no matter what, y'all can come to me. Not that you don't have to go to nobody else, but you don't gotta go to nobody else. Mommy got you. And I do that because I try to make sure that they have everything that they need because they didn't always have the other parent there to necessarily do it.
Right.
And I didn't want them to feel, without or left out. Because, Keith used to go through things at times where we would be like, why my dad doesn't, when he was younger or different things like that. And that shit hurt. As a parent, it hurts to have to try to explain to a child why their non-custodial parent isn't there, doesn't call, doesn't come around, doesn't do for them. Why do the other kids at school get to go with their father on the weekend and I don't get to go with my father on the weekend? I don't care what age your kid is, how hard you are. That's a hard ass conversation to have, and it will break you down. But you got to find a way to have it and let your kid know that it's not their fault. And I used to have it and just tell him, listen, it's not that your father doesn't love you. He's just not being responsible right now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a bash him or nothing like that, because even bashing him, that wasn't going to help my son. That wasn't my job. I ain't need to tell my son nothing bad about him. My son had eyes. He could come to his own conclusion. You know what I'm saying? It was for me to make sure that my son knew that he was loved by me and his father, whether his father was showing it or not. That was my job, so that my son would be built the hell up. Fuck what his daddy was doing. He wasn't doing right, but I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a conversation for me to have with my son.
Yeah, you're right. I told just like that whole awful conversation. I just got it right. She just called me in the shower. We go get some daggone pizza in the kitchen. I'm like, she was in the shower. She called me. She in the shower. I'm like, see, is that over conversation? And sometimes I go too far because I be like, I think I'm gonna cuss her out today. Like, for real, I'm like about to go there. Like, it's that over conversation. I'm like, you're right. Like, when you say over, I'm like, yo, she's in the shower and she called me. I'm like, oh, I need therapy my damn self.
We all do.
Or drink.
Yeah, I got another.
I got one.
Or both.
Yeah, that's a good combination.
Yeah, I got way too many. I mean, in my family, at one time everybody was had lost their license. I'm good.
Oh.
She went to
It was
like,
that's it.
did I hear that guy say he had 8 baby mothers?
Something like that.
We're gonna wrap it up on that, guys. Let's see.
This is a good little show tonight.
It was.
It's a good little show. Dr. Lamar got back for like.
I'm sorry.
She's going to karate class.
She dropped a dookie of a story and then went to karate class.
Went to karate, came back. I got
Freaks in the sheets.
I got stories for days.
When to go kick it at the dojo.
No, not me. I just sit down and watch. You can't
About
even
to go.
they be talking about it.
About to go to the deepest thought, last part of the show. Sit back and relax and take it in, let it marinate.
She deserved it, because what was her purpose in doing any of that?
Getting ready for the beach weather, I guess. Now she got to get ready for a concussion. She's going to be knocked out for the next year.
Play it again. Run it back. Run it back.
Yeah, because why she do that?
Yeah, like what just happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Cause she ain't see the clear obstacle in front of her.
the
She ain't
sun
see
was
that.
in her eyes.
She
Something was in
need
there.
shade.
Damn, that's
You know those kind of people don't do too good in the sun. They need to be better prepared.
he was doing so good.
Good.
God damn. He said, God damn. First time. Cleta said, God damn. Yeah, she hurt.
Yeah, I think she wanted to be too cute. She was like, you
know-
ain't look at the Jungle Gym before
She went
you
home and
started.
cried. She went home and cried in the car.
Oh, wow, I missed it the first time.
All right. Before we get off of here, Tyrone, you might have left. Before we get off of here, I'm gonna promote the Netta show right quick. This is the Netta show, Let's Talk Perspectives podcast. Tell us where we can find your show at, and tell us what your show is about.
You don't put me on the spot. Okay.
Oh yeah, got to.
So I haven't technically aired my first episode yet, but obviously I have recorded my first episode. And so it is going to be on Spotify and my website. So the website is going to be letstalkperspectives.com. So you'll be able to find it from there as well. I do plan on airing it like the beginning of June, maybe the first Thursday in June, maybe is when I will, air my first episode. But it will be on for sure Spotify and off of my website and YouTube too, wherever it goes. Actually, shout out to Freezy because she's helping me with that, and she actually told me, Big Red, I probably should talk to you to kind of help me a little bit with StreamYard too.
Okay.
So
anytime.
I have to hit you up for that, but yes, definitely. I'm
Your
excited so basically the show is about just different perspectives. So it's not no specific topic, it's just different topics and just kind of like getting people to come in there and talk about their perspective on that topic, So that's why I named it Let's Talk Perspective, because the purpose of it is to just help people see things from a different view, just like kind of like what we come in here and do. Sometimes you learn a lot when you can see things or see different ways people handle things from a different perspective. So I'm just hoping that it helps the audience or whoever my viewers may be. Like that is definitely the goal, and just to have a good time with exploring those different perspectives from all the different wonderful people. So
okay. Is it just you as the host, or you have a co-host? Or
so initially it didn't start as just me, but the show must go on.
I understand that.
So the platform of how I kind of have it, like I'm interviewing right now, I just have interviews set up, right? But I do have one lady that stated that she would come on and do like guest co-hosting with me. And so I'm also open for that until I can find somebody else that may be interested in doing it. But I did originally start off with 2 other young ladies, but I'm the only one standing. And it's something I really want to do, so I didn't want to quit just because they fell off.
Okay. Right. Very good.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Great. So for now, it's definitely interviewing.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the podcast. Get ready to start.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Hold on, man.
I got 20,000 perspectives if you want me to be on it.
Oh, yes, I do.
We
got Tyrone back, guys. Hold on. I'm going to let him plug his show right quick. Plug his book right quick. He might have a show too, but he has a book that he has out. Tyrone, go ahead and plug your book, man.
All right, Tyrone.
I'm in, Anna.
Yeah, you in.
You in.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. So what's the subject? I have ended up running in the store.
Oh no. We're coming to the end, and we're gonna let you plug your book, man. Tell us about your book. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, my book, it's called Life from Cabrini Greens. You can get it. It's on Amazon, and it's available on Doris Publishing. It's about me growing up. I was traumatized at an early age when I was younger from hearing so many gunshots and doing so many criminal activities and being around drugs. And this happened when I was around about 7 to 8 years of age, and I carry on with this mentality, and I disrupted a lot of communities with the gang mentality. I had took it to another state, and I carry on with a lot of violence and criminal ways, which I ended up in the feds and came to my senses and decided to write a book. And it talks about me changing my ways of thinking, my choices, and being confirmed to live a positive life rather than the negative life that I had chose to live for so many years. It's a great read. It talks about I have 7 baby mamas, 8 kids. That's why, like, I was speaking on those subjects like that, to where I respect all my baby mamas, and it just showed the reality aspect. It's an autobiography of my life, and it's a true story.
I had a friend living in Cabrini Green. That's in Chicago, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a great read. Y'all should check it out. It's a great read, and you know what I'm saying? I'm here today. I'm right here. It's not like because I wrote the book that, you know, that I became famous or anything. It's just that that's my story. I ended up in federal prison, and I came to my senses. I seen a lot of death, a lot of nonsense going on in jail, and I didn't want to live that life no more. So I had to do what was right for me, and here I go. I go to schools, talk to kids. I'm in the community selling my books. I sell more books on feet than online. So I sold a lot of drugs in my book, and I talk about that. So it's just a change of mind of me doing something different versus me selling drugs. I'd rather sell my book.
Awesome.
Was
I
doing
can't
that
wait
book
to have
like
you on
a
the
sense
show.
of therapy for you?
Huh?
Was doing that book like a sense of therapy for you?
Yeah, it was. You know what? You're right. It was a sense of therapy because throughout all my processes, like I said, I was traumatized at an early age. I never took medication. I never really talked to psychs and done things like that to where, like you said, it was therapeutic to myself because all of this was done on my own. I chose to change my ways. I felt the reality sense. You know what I'm saying? I've been into Islam. I read the Bible, you know, I honor Jesus. I believe that there's only one God, and I seek refuge in that God. So, you know, I want to live in better ways and better days. So that's what the book is about. It talks about me praying. I always prayed. I used to always hear gunshots being around shootings and shooting at people, people shooting at me and shooting me. I got a bullet in me now. So that was my life, and I wouldn't dare want to shoot nobody right now today.
Wow, that's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I
I
was like,
tell a
wait a
lot
minute.
of people, my book is a movie, and I want the right person to catch a hold of me because it really is a movie because I really took this mentality because it's called Life from Cabrini Greens. I took this mentality to Wisconsin, and I took over. I had 100 guys behind me. Every time I've been in jail, I've been a chief. I'm one of the dudes that had status in jail. I'm one of them dudes that victimized people, kids, and things like that, to where what's going on now, to where when I say kids don't need to be in there because you got certain people in there that's in there for so long, they might want to take his manhood, whatever they do. I didn't do that, but it's a lot of things. I might want to take something from them, make them do this. It's all about the manipulation game, and these kids is not ready for that prison life because it's wicked. You got all these kids want to act like girls and whatever they is out here, and think they gonna still be criminals. You got to accept the consequences of being a criminal. So when you go to jail, you got certain individuals gonna see that weakness in you, and you got to deal with that. And these kids ain't built like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was a lot of things that made me come to my senses because I didn't want to be. I got tired of being on the negative side to where if I know a man, I'm in jail, and I know somebody's doing something wrong to somebody, I really can't say nothing. I'm part of this plan that's going on. Not saying that I do it. It's just that when you're in jail, there's certain things you can get into and you can't get into, and you better mind your own business. And if you ain't nobody, you ain't gonna be nobody, because they gonna show strip you. From the guards to anybody, they gon' you ain't got no help. So my book is basically just about trying to help the kids and let them know they didn't have to grow up how I did, because I dealt with all the consequences for them. My sons, your sons, and everybody else's. And we need more men like me to try to tell these kids they don't need to do what we've been doing because they not built like that.
You're right.
Facts.
You're right.
Life from Cabrini Greens.
Life from Cabrini Greens is on Amazon by Tyrone Malone, and it's on Doors Publishing, and it's right in the back of my trunk. Wherever I go, anybody I see, I know a lot of people when I see people, so they might be speaking to me, and I say, "Oh, I got something right here for you," and they won't believe me. I'll be like, "My book," and once they see it, it'd be amazing to them to where they just get it because they used to me pulling up on them talking about I got some kind of drugs for them.
It's a different kind of drug, though.
Deep story. Deep story.
It's a good drug.
Sounds
Like
that sounds like a good book. I'm gonna pick
I'm
it
trying
up.
to tell you, I can't wait till you come on my show.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's gonna be a wrap for Hostile Therapy tonight. With me, Big Red. Thank you, Tyrone Malone, coming in here and giving your perspective, your opinion.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Lamar.
Salute to everybody.
Yeah, this is good.
Lord True, Sparky T. I appreciate you guys coming on. And everybody that watched tonight, get some Hostile Therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it. And we'll be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. Everybody have a good night. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.